Hey Bobby, I don't know if you've heard or not, but Fans Toys has a whole bunch of new reveals today.
Well, Christopher, as someone that is privileged in my position, of course, I've known about this for quite some time through all my networks and inside trading of third party.
Flex.
I actually have no idea. Because I don't get bothered by mundane shit like that.
So I had heard.
Let me know what's good.
So I had heard a rumor recently that this year they're going to have figured it out. The combined forms
after 2 years.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, that drag strip came out January, I believe, of 2021.
Was it 21?
And that was the last we heard.
Right. What's the first one released? That's the question.
Yeah, that's
how long it took. They haven't figured it out.
Correct.
Not from the last one.
Yeah, that's a good point. Anyway, they look great. I will say that I think the red one, Fireflight, I think was his name. Slingshot and Fireflight, I believe, are the last two. And the red one was Fireflight. The elbow joint is inside. First of all, the elbow joint is thicker than a Snicker. And I'm 100% sure that that's because that's part of the problem, right? Like that is the solution to part of the problem, I should say. But as a result, he looks a little thicker because it's concealed in his abdomen and chest, and he looks a little thicker, I think, than he should. If I was being super critical, they look great, and I'm going to get them both. But
of course, you're going to get them both.
But if I was going to be critical, that would be my criticism. But yeah.
I thought you like them thick.
Look, as I appreciate, like it's twofold, and I've said this before, but like on one hand, it means that people care that I know, and they want me to be aware, and they're trying to be helpful, right? So I appreciate it. I really, honestly do. But I would say this: if you have found out after 9 a.m. Eastern Central Standard Time, I've been made aware.
It's back to that same conversation from 2 weeks ago. Like, if you see a car wreck, someone's caught it in already,
correct,
bro.
I've been made aware. But yeah, it's fine. We had some weather here.
We have had some weather.
It's not as bad as it's supposed to be a lot of snow, but it's just slushy.
Yeah, it was supposed to be some more significant snow, but
and icing too. But it's not that cold out.
No. It actually, like for everything they called for, we made out okay.
Yeah.
But there's some slick spots. I hit a little slick spot on my way home, and I did a little Tokyo drift. You'd have loved it.
Oh man,
I was fast and furious. More furious than fast, but that's my general speed anyway.
Luckily, our new car has a snow mode.
Oh,
so I got.
Is it 4-wheel drive?
It's all-wheel drive.
All-wheel drive.
Yeah, that's one of the things we wanted to definitely get because none of our other vehicles are. They're just big, heavy, and dumb rear-wheel drive cars.
That's my little Subaru. Yeah, it still goes well enough.
I had recently. I had an all-wheel drive on my 300, and recently, like one of those Facebook on this day 8 years ago, one of those numbers came up, and I saw like just the screen for it, and I was like, damn, I miss driving in some nicer shit.
Do you ever have that pop up on Facebook and you're like, oh, I should probably delete that?
Oh yeah. There was one just recently, and I did delete it.
You said something pseudo.
Oh, I know what it was. Hold on one second. So yeah, that was a little comment that I made. It was a little like you'd have to kind of be in the know of slang and stuff to kind of pick up all the nuance to it. But when I deleted it, just in case.
Yeah.
Came back just in case it came back. You just never know. You never know. Yeah, I don't really have a whole lot of other. Well, I will say this. This is going to come to the Patreon folks, so to speak, on Wednesday, and then to the peasants on Thursday.
it's $1. It's $1, everybody.
But I will say this, Jansen. I want to talk to Jansen.
Fly me to the moon.
The X-Transbot's Perceptor. It's not bad.
Okay.
But it needed to be in the oven for like 3 more minutes. It's like it's just slightly too al dente. Just slightly too al dente.
Got a little too antsy and took it out too soon. A little bit.
Should have thrown it against the dishwasher before they took it out of the pot.
There, you know the tricks.
I know the vibes.
Yeah. But it is interesting. I think what's interesting about this discussion, I don't want to get caught up too much in it. I'm sure that you're going to be inundated with Fans Toys talk tonight, Christopher. But I expect for this, just after dealing with the Jansen, that's how I'm going to call him from now on. I expect that this Fans Toys is going to be a better product overall. That's my expectation. I could be wrong. That being said, an interesting question is going to come from it because it's $80 more. And I don't
the Fans Toys,
correct.
Of course.
And I don't think it's going to be $80 better.
So is that so is Keith's like 100 then?
Keith's is like between 114 and 125, somewhere in there, and Fans Toys is between 214 and 235.
Oh, it's a bit much.
Yeah.
Like even not even in comparison with Keith's
On his own.
just on it. Oh,
I
it's
agree.
like
I
it's creeped up too much. How much
agree.
was the fucking Dinobots when it first came out? 250 something like that.
They were 180
Yeah.
to start with.
Yeah, okay.
So,
Yeah,
and I totally blame Takara for setting the benchmark with these $400
Yes. Yeah.
figures. I mean, that's
they're like, oh yeah, if you see someone else paying $400 for something, you're gonna raise your $200 figure up.
yeah.
That fucking train set of Takara's.
It's a train wreck.
Yeah.
So I sent you guys the picture, but a buddy of mine who's in the industry, as it were, was able to extrapolate some of the measurements.
Yeah.
And the
so
fact,
like it already looked crazy. I'm like, dude, like compared to like the one that you're getting from third party, which looks super amazing and anime, like
agreed.
and then you show the fucking the size.
Oh,
Dude,
It's okay.
I
It's okay.
almost dropped my fucking
how
phone,
are they
like, what the
calling
fuck
that
am I looking at?
masterpiece?
It's okay that mine's not movie quality.
I mean, was that? I don't know.
Because I think it's all about the trains. It's all. I mean, it's all. It's
Michelle, Tamika, and Tanya.
I think the whole thing for Takara is to celebrate the like that is like I think it's a licensing deal and everything else.
and,
Like
and
it's
those
to
trains
celebrate
are a big deal over there.
50 years of trains or some shit, and and as a result, they cut off the nose despite the face.
Right.
You're gonna have some-
Scales with your Combiner Wars.
yeah,
That's right.
Yeah, it's slightly bigger than your combiner. It's gonna be a mess.
What if it came with Combiner Wars hands? The first ones that are like claws.
Yeah,
Big meaty claws.
But the problem is this sets a precedence, right? Because
Yep.
this is the first combiner. If they do in a combiner, what the fuck are they gonna do?
theoretically,
Same
they should
size?
all be the same size, right?
That would be crazy because then the bots will be tiny and it's not gonna scale with the other fucking master. Like if you make a Devastator, what the fuck is gonna happen with the bots?
You can look like a goof troop.
They already made a Devastator. It fits nicely in a Detolf.
No, it doesn't.
It fits in the
It
top
depends how
though.
many upgrade kits you put on it.
Chris, you got your coffee first. Joe, how was your nerd week?
It hasn't been that long. We did the statue video. Oh, not video.
Conversation.
Conversation.
Pretty thorough, I think. Like a good conversation.
Yeah.
Is that going to be on Patreon?
It is
Yeah.
currently on Patreon.
currently-
It jumps around a bit because it's a hard format to talk about.
Yeah, and you start remembering other shit. You're like, hold on, fuck, there's this also. So, but
My wife was looking at a statue this morning that was, I don't know if it was third party or not. It was a One Piece statue.
Third party mostly.
It turns out it's a 1/3 scale. Like,
Yep.
it
my
would-
Joker's 1/3.
It would be. I mean, there were people putting it together on a
Yeah,
table
it's like the size of this table.
that, like, I think, like the 9 squares here in the middle. It was about that big.
Yeah.
She's like, "Oh, that's too big. I don't know where to put it." I'm like, "Yeah, you know."
I think it was Billings that hit me up.
Module is if you look on the Module Case page, it's just full of third party anime statues.
Yeah.
That's what perfect size.
That's a weird world.
Yeah. And Billings hit me up, I think, and was talking about the Sentinel Iron Studios with all the X-Men around it.
Yeah.
And he said he bought, I think he bought one, or I think, I get the details confused. If not, is it going to make for a good story, so just go with it. Might be bullshit. I believe he bought one. It took up too much space, and he returned it.
Wow.
Like,
He's allowed to return it like that? Shit. That's a good
whatever vendor
studio.
he dealt with was
Good vendor.
very,
I would
very,
imagine. Yeah, sideshow. Somebody domestically, I'd imagine.
And guess what? For all I know, I'm making it up because I
Yeah.
don't exactly remember all the details.
It's a great story.
But
Don't correct him, Billings. Whatever you do, just roll with it. This is part of your life now. Whether you realize it or not,
this is
this
headcanon,
happened.
bro.
This happened.
Watched some old movies, a couple of old movies.
All right,
New
what'd you
ones. Snatch
oh,
last night.
how'd it hold up?
Not Bobby. Kristen never. Oh, like you, my other wife, apparently.
My own wife.
Kristen never seen it. Like she loved
Dude,
men,
I need you to like drill shit into my wall too.
so to speak.
Hey yo. Oh man.
It holds up great to me. I think it's great. She enjoyed it because she doesn't know Guy Ritchie movies. She doesn't know who
Right.
he is or like his very specific style of movies.
Right, yeah.
She enjoyed Man from Uncle,
Which I still don't
which I
think
haven't
I've
seen. Every time this comes out, you're like her. Yeah, every time I bring up movies, I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah.
So I have to like put it on for her. Yeah, it's great. We need to watch Lock, Stock at some point.
Oh, it's another good one.
It's those two are the main.
They are.
What was if you have to name a third?
If I had to, it'd be Rock and Roller.
Okay.
But it's a little darker. It's not as like
it's not like Snatch. It's not dark, bro.
Yeah, but
it's got like tone, but to a very dark story.
Yeah, but it's a very dark story, but it's kind of fun. It's like told in like a tongue-in-cheek way.
It's told in a fun way, but
Rock and Roll is told in a like, oh god, they're gonna cut my head off way. You know?
Have you guys watched The Gentleman? I know you have. Have you watched it? It's a Guy Ritchie movie.
Remind me to.
It's got Matthew McConaughey's in it. It came out like right before the pandemic.
I don't think you watched it.
Okay, maybe not.
It's
Same
really
style?
It's really well. I mean, it's a Guy Ritchie movie.
Yeah,
It's got
Guy
all the
Ritchie.
guy, and it's set in England.
Shocker.
Surprise!
It's got a lot of sharp dialogue.
It's about the drug industry.
Lots of words.
Yeah, but it's not. I don't think it's. I think I like it, but I don't think it's like. I don't think that this isn't a comment so much about that film, but more about him in general. I don't think that he's been able to capture whatever Lock, Stock, and Snatch was ever.
Madonna took it. Like, he tried to get it back, but he only got half.
Dude, is Madonna the white Erykah Badu?
She sucked the life out of him.
Dude,
That's how she stays young.
swallow my soul.
Same thing happened to Vanilla Ice.
Vanilla Ice is
And
doing
Dennis
fine
Rodman.
on like HDTV, fucking building houses.
I saw him on something the other day. I don't remember what it was.
He's like a good contractor. Like as far as I've seen of his show, he does good work.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Multi-talented, really, in many ways.
Yes. Triple threat?
Perhaps.
Question mark?
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, she enjoyed it. So we're gonna watch Lock, Stock at some point. But you need to watch Man from U.N.C.L.E.
I do. I also need a reminder, and I need to find stuff. Like I told you, I went recently to try to find newer films that like I haven't seen
In
yet.
the DVD section?
Well, no, but I fucking damn well should have, because like, they were all of them cost money. For like
Depends, yeah.
You know, like it was like $3.99 on or up to $17.99 something.
Yeah.
I was like, God
Well,
bless.
that's
depends
to
on
buy
service.
it. Like buy it.
Oh, yeah, it's like a digital download.
Sometimes you have to pay for it in one streaming service while it's free on another. It's crazy.
Yeah, I know. But I was on it. I was trying to figure it out.
Girl with Dragon Tattoo?
Which version?
You know, it never did it for me.
The one that was James Bond.
So the
the
American version of it.
Yes.
Because they made those in
Sweden
or something.
Yeah, it's like almost identical. I think.
Yeah, it's pretty close.
I enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah, I thought it was okay. It's been a while now.
I don't think
since
I ever watched it.
The best part of it for me was Trent Reznor's produced cover of the Led Zeppelin song, the Vikings song. You know?
It opens with it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I recognized it right away. Chris, I didn't even know that was that song.
He killed those like electronic drums on that. Like, you know, he like in a cover song, I don't like we've talked about, like I never want it to sound like the original. I want it to have the spirit of the original, but I want it to sound different. I want to, as a listener,
Not just like a copy.
when I'm like, I want to listen to this song, I want to make a decision. Do I want to listen to the Eurythmics Sweet Dreams, or do I want to listen to the Manson Sweet Dreams? Because it's not the same experience.
But you never want to hear Johnny Cash hurt.
No, I never want to hear Johnny Cash.
I enjoy it.
But to be fair, I would never probably put on like Reznor's Hurt either. Not that I think it's a bad song, but it's just if I'm going for sad, there's other songs that he.
I don't know, that the Johnny Cash song gets me.
It's
Because I tie it to
most
him-
people. You know that for most people,
I
like,
tie it to a memory. That's why. A very sad memory for me.
But there's just other Reznor songs that put me in that space a lot deeper and faster than, so to speak.
Deeper and faster. It's
Yeah,
good.
it is. That is my vibe. But like, you know, dude, did I tell you that Selena caught us having like not caught, but like
No?
Okay, so listen.
I always question it. Like, dude, you have 3 kids in your house of different ages.
And I think we have a fair amount of sex for people our age and
with kids in the house,
with kids and
next
work.
door.
So like, we went to take a shower, which is not my thing. I got to be honest.
Not taking
Shower
showers?
sex. Is,
No. Water's not good.
It's awful.
It's only good in theory.
Laura,
As a child.
Laura can't get it. She loves it. She loves the shower in general. She would just if she could just live in the shower and not have to pay for the hot water. She just loves to be in hot water all the time.
I mean, hot water is good, but I've never heard a chick that likes shower sex or like pool or beach, because water
loves
is like the anti-lube.
Yeah, but so I don't want to get too in the woods on that, but it's not the biggest challenge that we have. But be that as it may, that rubbery bit in the beginning is
Yes.
yes. Okay, so anyway, it's
Rubbery bit. Put it in space.
look,
Come
if you-
on,
I know what you mean.
Yeah, you know.
No,
If-
listen,
yeah.
we have a big shower.
Right.
It's got a bench and everything.
There,
so
love to
you
hear
know.
it. Love to hear it, dude. Bench it, dude. Playing the bench this season.
There you go.
So anyway,
Splinters in my ass.
I was saying how like we were in there, we're getting after it, and I came down and Selena's like, what was going on in there? And I was like, what do you mean? And she was like, I went in there. Apparently, we locked the door to the bathroom, but we didn't lock the door to our bedroom.
Oh,
So-
you gotta do the double door lock,
Yeah.
man.
Well, we
That's the rookie
usually do.
mistake.
We usually do, but
We have 3 doors between us and children.
Also, why kids just walk in your room? I guess it's normal for white people or something.
Well, not. I mean, most of them knock, but Selena, it depends. And Leia, it depends. Jaina would knock. But anyway, so Selena came in, beeline straight to the door, got to the bathroom door and was locked. But she was like, "But I heard crazy noises," and I was like, "What noises?" And she was like, and I was like, I told mommy a joke. She was clapping. It's like,
That's great. That's great.
and then she was like,
Did she ask you what the joke was?
But she was like, and I heard, and I was like, she laughs crazy.
Oh my goodness.
Oh,
That's great.
Children, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. Anyway, continue.
There was a lot of Apple and IKEA in it. I just kept seeing it everywhere
In what?
in the movie.
Which one?
Girl with Dragon Tattoo. Like they were using it because a lot of times, like if people are using an Apple or even an anime, if they're using it, you know what's supposed to be, but it would be like a pear on there or some shit.
Yeah, or they'll cover it up.
Yeah, or it'd be like misspelled, it'd be IKAE instead
Yeah,
of
yeah,
IKEA.
yeah.
But yeah, it's just I don't know. Product placement has become noticeable to me that it didn't used to back in the day.
I remember.
Not that it's not that it's distracting, but for some reason, like I didn't recognize all the brands I'm seeing.
Right, like everybody's drinking Dr. Pepper in the Spider-Man movie or whatever.
Oh,
yeah.
I don't know. I know the first time I can one of that sticks out to me is might have been the third Transformers.
For me, it was that
movie.
first one.
The third one. I know the third one. They had Lenovo computers.
That fucking Xbox in the first one. I was like, oh Jesus.
Yeah.
But like, I think sometimes covering up
It's more obvious.
it draws more attention to
yeah.
it than not. I'm like, why would you put a sticker right over your app? Oh, they're not allowed to show the Apple. They have an Apple. Hey, they got an Apple computer, everybody. You see it? They covered it up.
Yeah, they put a company logo on it.
Yeah.
So I wonder if product placements work. Well, I guess it does make you talk about it and think about it, right? But back in the day, it's more as a subconscious thing. Like you don't even realize you've been looking at IKEA and Apple, which is I
Exactly.
think what they were going for. But now it's just like blatant.
Yeah.
Even if like you're like anti whatever that is, you still have to fucking see it and talk about it.
Right.
But there are also things that are just people have Cokes on their fucking workspace.
Right.
People have Xboxes in the bedroom.
Exactly.
Like,
People have apples on their desks. Like it's like they're, you know what I mean? But like there's a
They do, yeah.
there's a way. I agree. There is a subtle way to do it, and there's for some reason covering it up and being obvious are like both like different chords of the same instrument.
yes.
You know,
So when, as you know, I'm a fan of The Office, the American version.
American,
of
which is quite good. It's
it's
second
nine-
best Office ever made, hands down.
9 complete seasons of it.
Oh, you can't get enough.
And there's, I watch it a lot, and
Lot to watch.
there's a lot to watch, and Comedy Central plays it constantly. But like as more you watch it, you notice little things like there's a lot of LaCroix placement in that show, and there's a lot of there's a lot of Wegmans branded stuff, which
sewage water.
I wouldn't have noticed because I didn't know what Wegmans
Right,
was.
right.
And they talk about going to Boscov's, which is
Yeah.
a chain up here, like
have no idea what
a
that is.
mall anchor kind of store that we didn't have in Alabama either. So as far as I know, this shit was just made up.
I
names.
watched-
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I watched the episode of The Office yesterday.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, quite
that one. That one too.
No, it was the lice one. The lice one.
No. I mean like
that's
the
a good
American
one.
one.
Yeah, it's a good one. Yeah, the American one. Yeah, which I quite
Where
like.
Meredith shaves her head, but it wasn't her fault.
Yeah, it wasn't her fault.
It's Pam's fault.
Yeah, and it was good, but like, so I was there. Gomez was there, and I was talking to him about it, and I was like, he actually had never seen it before,
He'd never seen The Office.
and I was like, look, there's 2 versions of this show,
Bob.
and he was like, yeah, there's like a British one, right? And I was like, there is, and I was like, he's like, well, which one's better? And I was like, well, it depends. It depends. And I was like, they're both really good, and then we were watching it, and when Dwight came in with like the whole hazmat suit and the whole bit, I'm like, you see this? Like, and I was like, this is funny, right? And he said, yes. And I said, I agree. It's funny, but it's also like this exaggeration. What can I do for you, Jana? Okay, then can you run it?
Yeah.
Okay. I told her to empty the dishwasher.
Oh, gotcha.
It would have been funny if
Dwight came in and had.
Would have been funny if she was like, well, "Damn the rules! I put all the dirty ones back."
That'd be like she came down and checked up on him.
But yeah, I was like, you see, he came in with this hazmat suit on, and I was like, it's like this exaggeration, right? It's like. This person doesn't exist that has like the bombs and everything, like, you know, but it's still funny.
He is.
And I was like, the British version is in the same vein, except the characters are a little bit more realistic, and that's why I prefer it.
So I'll tell you, like,
And it's concise, and it's like it doesn't go on and on and on and on.
for 9 years, it's crazy. A lot of those character stereotypes, like I've worked in offices with all those people at some point. I know you probably have too, you know, in some capacity.
So. Yes, I do. I have too. And even the 1 year that I spent in an office,
yeah,
like I know the thing, but it has been extrapolated to this extreme version of it.
yeah.
You know, and that's all I mean by it. Whereas to me,
I know.
Yeah.
Well, everything it's turned up a notch.
Yes.
Like the character of Creed. He's, you know, this kind of older guy nobody knows much about.
And a boxer.
Yeah. So I worked with a guy at a mortgage company who I couldn't quite figure out. There was something off about him. First off, he sweat constantly and smelled horrible. Turns out he was a holistic doctor and had been, I don't know how you want to say it, a girl died while he was supposedly helping her not die, like a young girl, and he lost his holistic license and had moved. It's like the craziest shit.
I wonder how challenging it is to keep a holistic license. You're just rubbing spinach all over somebody's feet.
Yeah.
How do you get one? I don't even know. How do you?
It's the internet.
Yeah.
I don't know if they pulled it, if he was just on the run, but
It's not.
every time I see Creed, I think about that guy.
Just being able to call yourself a doctor won't, like Dr. Phil. Just being able to call yourself a doctor with no repercussion is crazy.
Dr. Phil's
like
a natural doctor.
chiropractors.
Anybody can be a
I
doctor.
can
these
still call
days.
yourself a doctor.
Well, one of the Tiger King guy, the ponytail guy, he said he was a doctor.
No.
He bought his from some place
really?
in India.
Nice.
Like you could buy these certificates.
A doctorate.
Yeah, and he bought one.
Yeah, unless you're a doctor from an accredited university, which doesn't make you a doctor, like in that sense. Because people say they're doctors. Yeah, you have a doctor, but you're passing themselves off as
An MD.
an MD, medical
is
doctor,
different.
or PhD. It's not the same.
Right,
fucking
it's not
thing.
the same.
But like
my wife has a doctorate.
Yeah.
But she never calls herself doctor.
same.
You
Like
know?
when people call me doc, I'm like, I'm not doc.
But you both are. But you're just not MD.
But
yes, I know what you
mean. It's
mean.
a connotation to the word
Yes,
in this
yes,
culture
yes.
specifically.
I agree.
And like you know what you're doing when you call yourself a doctor.
Did I ever tell you the time my wife stung the shit out of this bitch and when she was going through her like what is it, like residency, for lack of a better term? So it's great. It's great. She went hard as fuck. It's like she doesn't go too hard anymore. She's like, you know, she's chilling now and more domesticated.
Offset you, bro.
Yeah, maybe. But like, so she was down. She was in Virginia, Newport News, which if you know is a fucking shithole.
Smells like
It's
well, it's a
awful.
newspaper plant there. Smells like fucking shit.
But anyway, she was there, and she was the first graduating class that could achieve the doctorate level education. It wasn't offered for kinesiology before, so she was higher educated than, you know, technically than anyone in her field at that time. And she was down there, and she was with this woman. They're going around and going into patients, or whatever. And she sees this patient, she's like looking at the knee, what have you, and she's like, hey Rose, take a look at this. And the Rose, she's like, it's Mrs. Hamilton when we're in front of the patients. And I said, of course. So they went to the next room, and Mrs. Hamilton was like, hey, and Laura, would you? She's like, whoa. It's Dr. Skullface when we're in front of the patients. If you don't mind.
That's awesome.
Perfection. That's yes.
That's great.
That's what.
Yeah,
that's that energy. That's what energy should be. Yeah. So that good movie. I enjoyed it. It's dark.
It is. I think it might have been hyped up for me, where it was like, oh, it's brutal. It's, you know what I mean. And then I went in like, all right, this is gonna be a game. You seeing spirits in this?
No, bro. Did
you know? I'm sorry.
Pinker and
I'll
just like
explain.
stopped in the middle.
I'll explain.
And started looking around. Like,
I'll explain.
are there ghosts?
I'll explain. I don't
ghosts
see
in
any
your
ghosts
pants?
in here.
Okay.
Oh, but it's one of those.
That's actually my wife's department. That's another story for another time. Did you know a quarter of the population can look at light and force themselves to finish a sneeze
Really?
And that's me. I can,
Really?
If I feel a sneeze, I can look at light and it triggers a sneeze.
Wow.
Yeah.
No, I didn't
And that's,
know that.
I was preparing to do that and do it in my elbow. Not, I mean, if you want me to just sneeze.
No. Certainly not. But it
was wild.
It just was wild. You just, and I was like, man, what is he tracking? Grandma?
You got one of those spectrometers or an AM radio with a
EMF. Wait, EMF.
I don't know what any of that shit is.
But yeah, the movie is dark.
Remind us again what movie you're talking about.
Girl with the dragon tattoo.
There we go. Sorry.
I mean, it's got some triggering shit in there. If you have some kind of trauma in your life or some PTSD, like they depict things quite brutally. So yeah, but this is like a series of books.
Yeah, there's 3, I think.
Yeah, and they made a second movie apparently.
Oh, did
which
they?
was like a soft reboot and did horribly. It didn't follow the book or some shit. But like the author died in like 2005 at 50 years old or some shit.
Yikes.
Watched the new movies I watched was Don't Look Up because you recommended it. It was great.
No, he recommended it to me.
You recommended it. Do you watch it?
I have not.
Okay. It's good. I quite enjoyed it. Beginning to end.
We got a
Great ending.
we got a few negative comments about it.
Okay.
But like I said, it seems, even if you look at an online thing, it seems to be a mix of.
Yeah, but nothing is perfect. Some
Yeah,
people like some shit. Some people don't like
No,
other
of course,
shit.
of course.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it as if that justifies one or the other.
Oh yeah, no. Like when I'm on here, I'm always only just giving my own personal opinion on shit,
course,
regardless
of
of what
course.
people say. But even though I say that with saying, when I watch stuff, I take you guys' recommendation, and I do like go on you Google the movie, it'll tell you Metacritic, everything. So I only look at Rotten Tomato and Google user reviews. If they're both high, I haven't been steered wrong.
Nice.
And if Rotten Tomatoes high and Google's users low, it doesn't usually vibe with me. But if it's the other way around, I usually have a good time.
Nice.
But I don't know how I feel about. I know I've been inadvertently doing it over the years, and now like I know that I'm doing it. It's steering away from things that I know will raise my blood pressure. Just like how I cured my feed and got off Facebook 3 years ago, right? So even when piece of media is entertaining and fun to watch, it's like I'm not sure if it's worth the juice is worth a squeeze with me, like sitting with like digging my nails into my palm, with like how like upsetting certain things is because it does translate to real life. Right, like let's say you're watching a movie with some like blatant racism or whatever, and it's like, but that exists, and it reminds me, wait, that this is a parody or it's a movie, but it reminds me this shit does exist and these people do exist, and like it gets my blood pressure up. So I'm not sure if it's worth it for me to like partake in such media or just and or is it just like ostrich with the head in the sand if I just ignore it, if I just bypass these things?
I don't think there's much wrong with that at this point in time.
But I also think it's like it's once again these are extremes, right? Like it's like and maybe not for you, I mean for every person for himself, but like some sort of balance, of not being oblivious to something and maybe also not immersing yourself in something. You know what I mean?
But I recommend it. I think it's great. Social comment. It's good on many friends. It's just entertaining. The acting is fucking phenomenal.
Oh, I thought it was great.
Matt Damon.
Is Matt Damon in it?
No, he's not.
Oh, is he not?
I don't think. No,
Oh, man. Well, that was a waste.
Fucking Chris did not recognize that was Kate Blanchett at all until the end. The credit rolls. I'm like, yeah, that's her. She's like, I did not.
She's another one of them.
One of the becoming the
one of those chameleons.
Yeah, completely becoming the character where you don't know. Leonardo DiCaprio was great.
I think Tyler Swinton is great at that.
I was just having a conversation on I was on a podcast this past week and I was invited to 3 live stream and they were very welcoming and good hosts and but anyway we were talking about actors. And Gary Oldman, of course, came up, and I was like, well, here's the truth. I'm Gary. He's me. If I were to take this mask off, you'd know. But he just does such a good job of it.
So that's good. And then Eternals. We're gonna have. Did you actually end up watching?
watched it. Yep.
Okay, so you don't have to sit there for 45 minutes listening to this bullshit.
Nope. And I don't know if that's a 45-minute conversation.
Probably
to have,
not.
but-
Probably not. Shang-Chi was like a 45-minute conversation. This is probably not.
Yeah, so we can
We talk about it now.
yeah, let's get into it. We're going to talk about it. Eternals going to be some spoilers. It's on Disney Plus, so
99?
it's been out for a while.
Yeah. 98?
I'd like to say that
Technically.
97. I'd like to say that I'd put timestamps in, but
87?
I'm not going to.
3?
2.
1.
All right. So let's
Great. Just start with the grade. Let's start with the letter
grade.
Later grade.
Letter grade. Okay. I give it a
Wait. One. Grading as movie as a whole,
God,
yeah.
Okay.
and then grade
What's so
because we have to do
complicated?
we have to do this now.
A letter grade is fine. A letter grade is fine.
Yeah, always a letter grade, but grading movie as a whole and as either superhero or as a Marvel movie, like
Yeah, I was going to grade it both ways.
Okay.
that's what I was prefacing.
So I will say I'm going to give it a C minus, and I'm going to give it a C minus across the board.
Okay,
I'm going to give
so
it
barely passing.
Barely passing.
I'm going to give it a B minus as a film, and a C minus as a Marvel property.
What about as just a comic books property?
It's probably still a C, maybe like a middle C.
You guys are more along the lines of like most.
Normies.
I just what I've heard.
Yeah, yeah, same. I
'Cause I
agree.
really
I didn't
enjoyed
even
it.
look to see what do you give it?
I don't give it. I wouldn't give it an A. As like a serious movie, C plus maybe. But as like a genre movie, B plus.
Okay.
So it's got a 47 on Rotten Tomatoes,
But what's the Google user rating?
77.
Yeah. See,
So-
that's where I'm the normie.
Yeah.
Actually,
yeah.
an audience score is a 78. So it's
yeah.
I mean, I gave it a C.
And I have
a
to
C,
say,
which
I
is about
align
that.
more often than not. I align with critics, like
Right, and more,
which I've noticed. I've
I
only
like-
noticed since the Last Jedi when it became like a topic of conversation here.
Yeah.
That you sure? But like that's when I noticed. I was like, fuck, I tend to align more with critics,
And I tend to align with the fucking average fucking
which
schmo.
is very funny.
Why?
Because you tend to separate yourself and your mentality from what you consider the average Joe.
That
to
is
be.
true.
I mean, not what I
the
enjoy
average-
though, because
Yeah.
I always like pop, I like regular pop music on the radio. I listen to boy bands, but I mean, it's like day to day life, personality wise.
Yeah, but it's just but it's just interesting that those people happen to just enjoy and appreciate the same
same shit.
exact things.
Are we
right?
too old to start a boy band? I'm just curious.
Yes, because we're a man band at this point.
I had a very diverse group of friends, unlike now, where it's just all white guys. And we were going to have a band called the Minorities.
Here you go.
Well, that is kind. Well, I'll tell you. So, good, bad, and ugly. You want to do good, bad, and ugly? Break it down that way, or just to this movie?
The bad is some of the acting is not across the board the same. Some actors are significantly better than others.
I agree.
Yep,
I agree with that.
I agree with that.
So let me say. Well, we can start with the cast. Well,
Yes.
maybe we'll do it that way.
Okay. Yeah, break it down by
So
Academy Award categories.
I'm going to start by this. The cast. You're not going to make me give a shit about 10 people in 2 hours.
They don't try to though either. though.
I think. Well, I think Mason and I watched this together, and we agree. Anything more than 5 people that you're new characters that you're introducing that you want me to give a shit about, I'm not gonna be able to track all that.
right.
I mean, phone numbers are 7 digits for a reason, right?
Depends on what country.
Well, you know what I mean.
I'll say that my issue with the cast is not necessarily their acting. My issue is there's no Han Solo. There's no, name it. There's no Groot or Rocket. There's nobody cool.
It's part of why I like it.
Well,
I get. You're right,
yeah,
but
they're just all a bunch of fucking. But for me, a bunch of fucking boring
yes,
pieces of white bread.
yes,
Yeah.
and
there's-
like I find that refreshing in a way that's like I find them more relatable.
Joe, name how many characters you can from that movie. Not the actors that played them, their names.
The actors' names?
No,
Or
the
characters'
names of the characters in
Character
the movie.
Icarus, Gilgamesh, Kingo, Sprite, Thena. I don't remember the mom's name. Arash, the god with the celestial Arashim. I cared about the movie.
Okay.
Yeah, but they're also like, and I'm not doubting, I'm not debating whether or not you cared about it, but like, as soon as you said that, I was like, fuck, they're all like famous names.
Well,
Chris.
it's always like one step off of, but it's still
yeah.
And Ajax is the one that I remember.
Ajax is the mom.
Which is
So I'll be honest. I mean, aside from Icarus and Gilgamesh, those are probably the only two that stuck with me. Athena, once you said it, I was like, oh yeah. Yeah, they're just all like I don't know. It's like I don't think I know anybody that uninteresting.
I'm that uninteresting.
No, you're vastly more interesting than everybody in that fucking movie. Vastly.
I don't fly and shoot laser beams.
That doesn't make one interesting.
Yeah, it kind of does.
No, it kind of doesn't. Not in a superhero movie where everybody has laser beams. If you were the most boring motherfucker I knew, and we'd known each other for 5 years, and you're just sitting at this table, and it's like, well, we got to keep inviting Joe because we've been doing it for 5 years. I know he's boring, and then you just open laser beams to heat up your coffee. I'd be like, whoa. The dynamics of this relationship have just vastly changed. But for a superhero movie, it was like, I didn't like any of the cast.
Okay,
I think simultaneously, to say I didn't like the villain isn't fair, but
was there a villain?
Antagonist.
Yes, antagonist.
ends up being Icarus, right? I mean,
well,
is that what you're saying?
Is it?
Yeah, well, that's the thing.
That's the fucking thing. Is it the monster? Is it Arasham?
That was Thanos the bad guy? I mean, it's just
Right, but I love shit like that.
So I do, as long as I care about the characters.
Okay.
But like this monster, when he started
monster guy, yeah.
when he started talking and
Yeah.
explained the world,
Yeah.
which is an hour and 20 minutes into the film before you realize what's going on.
What's the plot twist?
No, it's not a plot twist. I mean, it is a plot twist, but it's also the plot. You know, and that's what's different. It's like I didn't know what the story was until I was halfway through the story.
That is something else that Mason and I talked about was the trailers don't tell you what that movie's about.
No.
I don't know what the
first half
trailers
of that
say.
movie-
I think it's too complex to just explain it that way.
No. So I agree with you. I also think it's too complex to tell it in 3 minutes, but that's what they did.
Okay. I didn't personally have a problem with that.
Yeah, like I wanted, let me spoon feed it to me, but it didn't spoon feed it. They put it all in one ladle and then poured it down my throat.
I mean, it was a tool when the god came down and just fucking explained everything, right? Like
Yeah,
you just
so
waited for the god to
there's-
fucking
there's-
tell you
there's-
what's going on.
There's two moments. There's one where you hear the celestial side of the story, and then there's one where you hear the demon or the deviant side of the story, right? But both of them are done at about halfway through the movie, and both of them are done inside of like 2 to 3 minutes. And it's just like, I don't know, it just seemed like a narrative dump, and the deviants I found vastly more interesting, obviously. But then even him, now I care kind of about him. Like he became an interesting character. He became one that I wanted to follow, the multi-eyed fella.
But he also had no endgame.
When I wish I did too, Joe.
Wow. That was nice.
But like there was no winning for him regardless.
Which is fine, but I needed more. I needed more of him just because I needed somebody that I was interested in, and I didn't get a whole lot more of him for the rest of the movie.
From the ugly standpoint, I thought the CGI wasn't great in this.
Really,
Like
It wasn't.
that
It
character, the multi-eyed dude. I didn't think
yeah,
he
the
looked
deviants
good.
did look a little goofy.
It looked unfinished to me.
Well, even the special effect of the power. Well, not the eyeball, the laser beams and the flying. It's great, but
That was-
like the some of the tech didn't look great because it's like kind of magic, right? It's the magic tech with things
is.
weaving out. It looks a bit off, but it could be because it's so far removed from anything we can relate to. Like it can't look
that
realistic.
could be it. I thought this was a really weird Justice League movie because you got Superman, you got Wonder Woman, you got. I guess the guy inventing this combustion engine is Batman. So it's like you. Did anybody else pick up on that? You have a Flash.
I definitely, yep. But at the same time, I give a little, and I agree with you. I give a little bit of a tip of the hat to it because it is Jack Kirby.
Yes, and I understand that. But it was just like, man, this is almost like a trope at this point.
I did want to see. Speaking of tropes, I did want to see. I never read the.
Me either. I have no idea what it's about.
Apparently, there was a book written. I think Neil Gaiman actually wrote a book that John Romita Jr. illustrated recently. That a lot of this is pulled from.
So I will say this: like at about halfway through, when I was looking at it, I was like, wow, this is the most diverse cast I've ever seen in my life.
Oh, it definitely is.
But it was almost like, I mean, it almost seemed like they published the census list in comic book form. It was like, you get an old one, you get a young one, you get a white one, you get a black one, you get a gay one, you get a straight one, you get a female, you get an Asian, you get an Indian, you get one with a disability, you get one with, like, you know what I mean? It was like, and I was just like, wow, this is like, there was something about it to me. I hate being white and talking about this because it's like so easy to be villainized.
Right.
But I would have preferred if they were just all Pacific Islanders. Like I would have, or something. It was too distracting for me. It was just like,
I mean, it would literally in world make more sense if they were all the same race and gender, even.
Yeah,
and for their purposes.
And I guess probably even like something in the Mesopotamian area.
Yes.
Looking, like,
looking whenever they came. Because, like, we're talking sports now, right? Because they're basically super fucking advanced robots or biological robots or whatever that the Celestial made for purpose, like for specific purpose. So if they're sending these people to this time period on this place on Earth, it would make sense that they all look alike if they were to blend in, or all look alike differently to stand out. But I think they're supposed to blend in because they're not supposed to like interfere with shit. They're like the Watcher, kind of.
Even if you put
how'd that work out?
If you put this crew in blue jeans and a white T-shirt, you would notice them walking down the street. Just as like how much of
it looked like a Gap ad.
I was just gonna say Gap. Why did Gap just pop up in both our heads?
Dude, what if the Gap band did a Gap ad?
Dude, I'll tell you what.
That's meta.
The Gap Band's Outstanding remix is a guy that has been waiting his whole life to get in front of the congas. And I mean, he is working overtime. But that's
United Colors of Benetton, probably a better one.
that's pretty much
United Colors of Benetton. I haven't seen that since 10, 15 years ago.
That's pretty much my what detracts from it for me. What I love about it is like this is a key example of I love this story.
Okay,
I love it. I love the world. I love like there's this God and it has these things and it sends it to these planets to build more gods.
I thought you just didn't like everything.
No. I love that.
The characters dragged the grade down that far for you.
No, I love the story. I hate the way it was told.
Okay.
That makes sense.
Yeah, I was like, fuck. I was like, these little 3-minute tidbits are so fucking bloody interesting. And why not? Touch me, tease me with them. You know what I mean? Instead, like you just jerk me off back to back. Now I'm
that refractory period began.
Skin rash and.
At the end of it, I said, "Why did they make this movie? I mean, what was it?" And I know everything they're doing is building towards something else.
And also the end credit scene.
Yeah, so we find out that this dude is Thanos' half brother,
which is like in comics.
Yeah, it's.
Oh, you got to see Pip.
Which looks wild.
That was great for me as a comic book fan. Though,
it is, but it's
fan service.
It's CG that doesn't work out that well.
It's comic book porn. It's all the things that I always criticize and will often criticize, but in the same breath can often say, "But it made me feel good." Just as like you can't take that away from me. The possibility now because we've seen Adam Warlock.
Yes,
I'll get to see Adam Warlock and Pip together. And that
in sometime in the near or far future,
that to me was good fun.
I like the story. I
did too.
I didn't notice. It didn't detract from me the way it was told. Like I didn't see a problem with that personally, but it could be me. I don't know because often I feel like it might be a thing when it comes to me and you liking or not liking certain story elements. It might be like an anime versus not anime thing.
Maybe
it could be. I find the characters bland also, but in that way it was interesting to me. Like I said, I find them to be even more realistically bland with superpowers. They have really regular ass problems, but also some serious moral dilemmas. And it keeps questioning, which I love, keep questioning what's right, what's wrong, or if there's a right or wrong. By the end of the movie, to me, nobody did anything fucking wrong or out of character or what they shouldn't have or should have done.
I don't disagree with that.
And that shit is interesting. Like that was no right or wrong answer.
I don't disagree with that too. There's a lot of moral ambiguity in this movie.
Even though I feel like people say, well, that's a cop out, right? Of not having a side, and it's easier to write a story where no one's right or wrong. But we don't see it often enough. And this is an extreme case of not a single fucking person did what.
But I will tell you, as soon as I met all the Eternals, I told Laura, I was like, that dude's going to be the bad guy. I could just tell there was something about the way he was on screen. I was like,
he made a great Superman.
I was like, he flips.
He did make a great Superman.
I mean, the effects were great as Superman, but like if you just reskin him when a super suit, it looks perfect. Great.
Honey, have you seen my super suit?
he would like it was presented as a very good Superman. On screen.
I did not like
Angelina Jolie.
Yep, her.
She played a great crazy person.
I didn't like
she's
that.
She's really good at playing crazy person.
Yeah,
because she's.
But now, I mean, it made more sense as a story when I was like, all right, they're wiping them every time that they go to a new planet for.
Yeah,
however fucking long.
I was okay with her, to be fair, but
it reminds me of Girl Uninterrupted. Remember that movie?
Like I think that when you say things like these are more realistic because they're more realistic people, it's like I don't think it's any more or less realistic. I think it's about the people.
I think it's more relatable. I think that's what it is. It's not so extreme to where I'm like, but your life is so fucking far outside of my fucking wheelhouse that I can't even like really fathom what it's like.
Yeah, but it's like I think that these sort of people exist, right? Like not laser eyes, right? But I mean the character archetypes, exist, but they exist at the library. I'm at the bar, so it's hard for me to like and part of it is the company, like and I needed somebody to care about. I
like the interrelationship between that huge group and what they did. I guess I think the bottom line is I found it more interesting than you did as a whole.
Yeah, for sure.
I was interested in not all, but most of the characters individually, and I cared about their relationship with each other and how that plays out because imagining a big family where not everyone always gets along and some people are closer to the others and like Thanksgiving dinner where fucking Uncle Bob is talking about them gays, you know?
Let's make it somebody else.
So,
all right.
So who
it's interesting to me, that kind of dynamic.
Who gets a Disney Plus series based off this movie?
Nobody.
I'm thinking Bollywood guy does.
Nobody.
I think that would be great.
He's
the fact that he's been playing this since the technology's been invented. He's been playing his.
I think because this is the first black guy that they've seen in a while. I think that you'll be reluctant to see them in any significant capacity for a while.
Oh yeah, because it didn't do well. I wonder if
it wasn't received well. Like it's both.
Even though even though we just looked at Google user rating is relatively high. I wonder how much it streams. I'm sure they keep track of how much time it streams.
Yeah.
But like I like the Indian guy a lot, and I like the Prometheus a lot.
He seemed to be the most Marvel-y to me.
Because he's kind of like happy-go-lucky kind of thing. Even though he's like, I'm just playing this part because this is how life is now.
Yeah.
And the Prometheus, the engineer guy. It's like he has a whole family and like trying to live a normal life, and that was interesting to me too. And he was relatable, and he was your neighbor. He could be your neighbor kind of guy.
Yeah. You know that guy.
He's just trying to live his fucking life.
The guy has
likable.
Been such a diverse actor. So he plays a drug dealing rapper in the TV show Atlanta, and then he played that like insider guy in that Godzilla versus Kong movie.
Oh,
remember he was the one with all the secrets.
Yeah,
he was on he's like, I got a blog about this or whatever. That movie made, just so we know, internationally, actually worldwide, Eternals made $400 million. I mean, I don't know what the expectation was.
I mean, that's a big
COVID,
number for you know.
Well, so here. So last week, The Weeknd dropped.
Yeah.
Dawn FM.
Yes.
It's awful.
It's
almost unlistenable.
I didn't.
Tory Lanez did it better.
Okay.
But it did 170,000 his first week.
It purchases? Digital purchases?
No, they don't really do it that way anymore. It's this combination of stream versus with digital. It's
the rap. No,
well, it's not 360 because that's something else. But it's any way to consume it. It did 170,000, I believe, first week, which for any drill rapper, is amazing.
Yes,
but for The Weeknd, failure.
Yeah, so that's what it's like for Marvel. Because 400 million box office is not.
I mean, usually a Marvel movie does 100 million first weekend.
Right. Instead of 400 million total. Because like reaching the 1 billion mark obviously is always a thing which several movies have, but 400 million doesn't sound
And
like
I think
a slow,
I don't
low
think
number for me.
And I don't think that's a flop. Don't get me wrong. I don't think it's a flop
them.
But even to them, I don't think it's a flop. I just don't think it's like, oh, this isn't as commercially viable as this. Because I would have guessed that this movie cost less than $100 million to make.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like how much?
I don't know
how much it costs versus how much.
There's only one way to find out, guys.
Box office mojo.
200 million.
200 million.
So they doubled their money.
They doubled their money.
But they doubled their money.
Yeah, but that's
I know.
Yeah, that's not what they're looking. That's not what they're looking for.
Like
They're not looking for a Roth IRA return on
and
investment there.
the figures peg warm. There's the fucking.
Oh, I was in a Walmart this week, and
the hot toys are still available.
I
vastly
swear
available. Like,
they had 12 cases of those figures sitting at a Target or a Walmart.
I wonder
somewhere.
if it hurts too, like for people who are like kind of in our mindset and collecting mindset. There's just too many at a time. Like you want a team of 10 hot toys at a time.
That's what I'm saying.
It's just like I'd rather get none, right?
But I think but they didn't do 10.
Right.
And,
Whatever
that's the
it is.
thing,
Whatever
and
it
they're
is.
never going to do all 10
No,
of them.
because
if you
they didn't
were
sell.
Because it didn't sell. And like the thing is that like what character for general audiences is cool enough to want that representation?
I mean, they made the Angelina Jolie figure.
So
is that the first one?
And I'll be honest, that'd be the first one I'd buy. Like if they were like
The
Gundy
fight scenes were great.
Yeah, agreed. Like a lot of rolling around the sand. But with that, which did kind of annoy me, I was just like, oh, here they go again. And here's another one. But without that, I agree that the fight scenes looked great.
I kind of like that they're not all combat roles. There's like 3 people who are meant to fight, some people who are meant to support, and some people are supposed to be like working with the community. Like they all had like a thing that they did.
I hope that they tie in that there's these giant fingers and shit in the ocean now. Do you know what I mean?
Well, yes. Because I was looking at the Marvel timeline because Disney Plus shows.
So that was my question. So
this is like
answer it.
the very end.
So this is the most recent thing that's happened?
So like, yeah, that has been released on Marvel, Disney Plus.
It's still, to me, so if...
So go ahead.
So Spider-Man is probably after this?
I don't know. But because they will slot the movie in at a timely fashion, like in the chronological order once it drops, but we won't know until it drops.
I still have a big problem with
I haven't seen it, so I don't know.
We didn't interfere, when obviously you saw them interfering over the years.
What do you mean?
Like they didn't interfere with the Thanos.
They weren't supposed to.
I know.
They weren't supposed to interfere with
any of the shit that they did. I mean, the back half of the movie was shit they weren't supposed to do.
Right, because they've broken free of
even shit that he did in the front half of the movie. The guy that could control people's minds.
Well, he was not one of them anymore. They left. They disbanded. J.J. says you can leave, and he's just going to fuck off and do whatever he wants. They're not supposed to, but they all went. Like,
right, but one of the things that he wants to do, obviously, is not get involved anymore. Just when Thanos shows up.
Well, he was living in a cult kind of.
Well,
he was in the woods with his only community, and
theoretically, you'd know 50% of them died.
No, but I also he's a realist, and he's like, I can't do this.
I like that actor. I don't know if he's been in other stuff. I like his. I like his.
And I'll say I don't
way
care.
He carries himself.
I just want to say that on top. I don't care. Like these things. This is just another one of those examples of like the fight on the bus in Shang-Chi, where it's like I don't care that it doesn't totally make sense. I just want everybody to be consistent and say, look, this is another example of some Marvel shit that doesn't 100% make sense where we pointed out and everything else. Not we.
Right.
We
like the only one who can really fight at that time, who can and would, was Icarus, who follows the rules.
Yeah.
Everyone else is
flies a little too bloody close to the sun. If you ask me, Joseph.
Dude, I love how he ended.
Yeah,
he was like at a fucking. He broke down. He had a identity crisis. He couldn't do.
No. That's a DC property.
He had an infinite crisis there.
No.
They have lots of same problem. Keep going.
You had a crisis on Infinite Earth. Fuck. Final crisis.
You won't reach the end of this
but
list.
Like he is at an impasse. Is like what it was made for and what he wants to do and what he ended up not doing. Like there was, I was wondering myself, like, where is he gonna go? There's no fucking good end for him, and he fucking yeeted himself into the sun. I'm like, perfect.
Yeah. Yeah, and then the end is pointing towards Jon Snow being the Black Knight is the character. Everybody says that sword he has at the end is the Black Knight.
Oh, that
sword,
makes sense.
Which I don't know dick about that.
He's like an Avenger.
Sure.
Who isn't?
I know he had. The only thing I know about Black Knight is he had an action figure recently, and everybody said it was mythic because it's a knight figure.
Yeah,
that's all I can tell you about that figure.
Was that it for your Nerd Week, Joe? I think it was a good Eternals discussion.
Yeah, no, it was quite long.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't think I'll ever watch it again, but it's worth a watch if you haven't seen it.
So Laura fell asleep on it and opted out to finish.
Just get the Cliff Notes later.
But she's not a huge genre fan anyway. So it kind of has to be exceptional and to be fair with her. Like it's not like she's like a huge comic book movie fan in the first place.
Well, I like that this doesn't have the same tone as other Marvel movies.
I agree with that, except for the Indian guy.
Right.
He was Jar Jar.
Better than that.
No. Better than that, but I'm saying he was
I like his character.
That character.
It was kind of dumb. I thought that he just like, I'm going away now while you have this giant battle, and I'll just pop back up at the end. I don't know.
Well, he's like, I can't do it. I can't fight. That's another reasonable thing. It's like, I can't fucking fight that. I'm going to go fuck off now.
Well, I mean, that is, I thought his with his manservant guy, I thought he was funny.
Friends.
That was very Marvel too.
I know, but it was neat.
No, that was a Marvel part of the movie to give you some levity.
But while I might have discontent with this, my hatred today is coming. Just not now.
Oh, last thing I want to say about the movie.
It's going to be coming probably when we get over to you.
Go Boba Rangers.
The last thing I want to say about the movie is like you said with the stone. Mm-hmm. Like that reminds me of like
4 stones.
5, 6.
4 stones. 4 cases. 4 stones.
The end of the Transformers movie with Unicron's thing sticking out.
Oh yeah.
I thought this was a better way to do it than that.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed. I do agree with you there. Chris, how was your nerd week?
It was great, and it was emotional.
You don't sound very bland there.
So the Expanse finale.
Yes, I need to hop. That's why I need to hop on now. Now that's over.
That was 2 things. That was the best hour of science fiction television I've ever seen.
Wow,
it is so fucking good. And the word I'm going to use for this, it's hard to say this about a series finale. Now, of course, there's, I think eventually we'll get more. The rest of the story.
But this is supposed to be the series finale.
The series finale. And the
current arc, the story arc is over.
That's the story arc ends here in the books. There's a 6-book arc. Then there's another story involving some unresolved stuff that it takes place like 30 years.
That you don't need to know anyway if you're.
The word I'm going to use is satisfying.
I love to hear. That's a good word. That's a good word.
And I can't tell you I've ever been more satisfied with a series finale ever. I mean,
wow.
I will tell you, I was nervous because the episode going in, so there was only 6 episodes in this, and they were all like 42 minutes, whatever a normal.
Yeah.
This one was 65 minutes, I think. There was a lot. Man, there was so much going into it. It's like, how are they going to resolve?
Yeah, I remember you saying that. It's like this. And you were saying it's an extra long episode. Was it an extra long episode?
It was. It was like an extra 20 minutes.
Oh, that's not that much longer.
Well, I'll tell you. I'm assuming when they make these shows, they're like, all right, Amazon's, and I have no idea how much. You got $10 million to make this season. And then they say, lay out the visual effects cost. We don't have enough to do 10 episodes here. I guarantee you, let's just say if they had a $10 million budget, $3 million out of the 6 episodes went in this episode.
Which is the way to go.
Oh my God. Just the visuals. I mean, you talk about like socio-economical, like being nervous about shit. This, like, I was on the edge of my fucking seat the entire time. It was balls to the fucking wall. And then they wrapped everything up in such a neat package.
That is in a satisfying way.
In a satisfying way.
Sometimes when people tie a bow on it, like,
it can be a little forced.
There was no extra tension on the knot. It just, and there was there's a couple things that are still hanging out there story wise. A lot of the scuttlebutt online is, well, they're leaving those things hanging
just in case
as a lure to see if Netflix wants to pay or somebody else wants to pick it up.
Oh God, please don't.
So like my question about that is when Amazon picked up The Expanse at season whatever.
After season 2, I think.
Yeah, but they get the first season with it.
So
yeah. Whoever buys the new one, make a new one with it.
I don't know how that works.
Yeah, that's my question. It's like, do I have to watch season 1 through 3 on fucking Amazon and 4 through 6 on goddamn Netflix? That would be weird.
Yeah,
well, I mean, a lot of this stuff comes down to ownership. Like, so season 1 is available on Amazon. The Expanse.
Well, all of it is. All 6 seasons.
What I'm saying is,
season 1 is when it was sci-fi. I think before
it was on sci-fi.
What I'm saying is that as things are trading hands, it's all seems to be going along. So I would guess it's either part of the buyout package, it's part of the licensing package, or God forbid, but fingers crossed, the creator actually has ownership of it in some regard and can take it all somewhere else as an opt-out option.
So Alcon Entertainment, who you recognize their logo. You've seen on other stuff, I'm sure. They're the production company, and I don't know how all that works as far as ownership goes.
You know, I have a question about that in general because as I've watched a lot of like more indie stuff, what the opening credits is, you know how it's like Miramax.
Yeah,
when you watch
yeah.
But like this is like,
let me ask you a question. Does that do anything for you?
I don't give a shit.
No.
Dude, I get excited. Like when I see like a one that I'm like, oh man, I like a lot of movies from this company. Like, and I get out and it comes on.
They made that shit for you.
Like,
Warner
dude,
Brothers?
it'll put chills on my fucking arm sometimes. Like where if I see like Legendary, which is like the Nolan shit, the circle like with the little symbols in it. Like it's like I get like little chills. Like
I guess it works.
You know, Lucasfilm.
Yeah.
You know, like
I mean that's I don't know. I'll be honest. At this point, the Lucasfilm one's just like,
no, here
we go.
Trust me.
But years ago,
my question is like sometimes it's a lot. Sometimes what is in the movies it's like you run through 6 logos. I'm like, what is each of these motherfuckers doing for this 1 hour and a half movie?
So what that means is that's the amount of funding that they needed to get it done. Like
6 different companies have to sponsor this one fucking movie.
Yeah, Laura and I talk about it all the time because like
it goes through so many logos.
Some of them, and like sometimes the more logos it goes through,
in association with,
the more concerning it is because it's like, man,
like how many hands were in this pot?
Everybody was like, I'll give you 20.
Yeah, but I mean this. I don't know, man. It was kind of heartbreaking. It was the last episode, but I watched it. The show actually comes out. It says it comes out on Friday, but it actually comes out at midnight. I guess the Greenwich timeline or whatever. So it's like 7:00 on Thursday night. It comes out. So
like my Patreon.
We watched it. Yeah, we watched it Thursday night, and man, it was, oh my God, it was so good. And everybody I've talked to, like, and I know I've probably talked some people into watching this. I know for a fact I have, but everybody like in my friend circle
it's more alluring to me from your.
You're more convincing to me because when I was on it, I was trying to convince people to watch that shit too.
It's so good, man. I'm probably gonna. I don't know.
You probably
I'm gonna watch the last season again.
Maybe I'll try to get Laura to watch it. Well, we can hold. I think we gotta.
It's interesting. I need to watch. I'm wondering now if part of me stopping where I did has to do with me like shying away from like anxiety thing because it gets that way. It does in that season. I'm just
so what? You're in season 4, correct? Is that where they're on the planet?
Yeah, when they're on the planet, and then the Belters and the scientists are like going at it.
Yeah,
and obviously the scientists are the bad guys.
Sure. Well, yeah,
that
Mercury.
He's in all things. He was one of the guys in Pacific Rim. But
yep, he's in
scientist guy.
He's in Dark Knight Rises. He's the guy. Bane chokes the guy out, and he's the other guy there.
Yes.
Yeah,
he's in that. Just kind of greasy
like,
guy.
It just makes me like anxious.
Yeah. So I don't know.
Try it. It's good.
Yeah, I'll try it. So what I realized that. Remember I told you I think I tried it before. Mm-hmm. So I know I have.
Okay.
Because I watched of Mikes and Men again on fucking that Wu-Tang documentary.
Okay.
And because I'm doing a music episode on them, I just wanted to brush up on a few things. But like at the end of it, it said continue Expanse episode 2.
So you watch.
You watch. Give it a 3 in, man. So your own rule.
And that's crazy because the first episode. I mean, a lot of shit happens in that first episode.
Like, but it's kind of wild though. Like
it is fucking banana. Like,
but it may have been sometimes. Like
sometimes
it's
fallen asleep or something.
But sometimes it's like if you just passed the biggest written test you've ever had to study for, and it's going to mean you're going to get promoted, and the sun is shining, and the clouds are parting, and they're nice and big and fluffy clouds at that, and the birds are chirping. It's 68 degrees in the shade. You know what I mean? Like, and then I'm like, dude, check out this new 9 Inch Nails.
I got
like, it may just not have been the right thing for me at the right time.
Let me sell it to you like this.
You've tried to.
I'm going to hit you with another angle. It ain't Star Wars.
You're going to hit me with some truth.
There ain't a lick of Star Wars in it.
Okay,
because it's a very
depending on what era Star Wars. I don't know if that's a good or bad thing, Christopher.
Let me say this again. It's nowhere near like what Star Wars is on that they're presenting to us right now. It's very grounded in science and reality.
That's the thing. Like there is a mix of.
But it's not
super
it's not nerdy though.
Right. But episode 1 throws the fucking sci-fi shit at you, and then it gets grounded. So like if you only watch
3 episodes, man.
That's his rule. He didn't fucking follow his own rule.
I didn't.
By the time they're done with the Donager,
the old Donager, the Donager cut.
Man, they explain the world, you know, and
Superman 2.
Thomas James in those early
Great.
episodes as Miller.
Yes.
Oh, he's so good, man. So good. Doors and Corners.
I want to watch.
That's
I want to watch.
That's where they'll get you, Bobby.
I want to watch
Doors and Corners.
I want to give it another.
So unfortunately, I won't be able to talk about The Expanse anymore, which is kind of heartbreaking to me.
Until I start watching it and bringing it up, and then we can talk about
sure.
it.
And
He can
then,
sit
you know,
there.
I might just watch it.
I'm gonna try it.
I think you should try it. There's some books down there too. You might. Yeah.
He will get on Expense as soon as he starts reading those books.
That's probably why. I watched the first 3 episodes of the Peacemaker series.
Oh,
I did
was
too.
it?
Oh my God, it was great.
It's good fun.
It's just
fun.
It's like if Deadpool was a TV show. I mean, that's the best way I can explain it. Like that amount of just ridiculously and over the top.
Staying in for the ride.
Oh man,
It's good. It's good fun.
It was so entertaining. Like
It's good.
Kelly's not been watching the comic book shit with us at all, but she thought that was just fucking gold.
It was good fun.
Laughed our asses off, and like a couple times the kids were walking in. Whoa, hold on. Let me turn this completely off. Let me log out because I mean, were you surprised by the graphic sex scenes that were in it?
So
Ooh, spoiler,
You got me.
there were titties, Joe.
Now I'm in.
Titties.
So here's the
I'm
thing.
in.
Expectations.
Did you have any expectations for this?
No, wait. Just in terms of this graphic sex stuff.
Okay.
So somebody hit me up on Instagram and was like, "Dude, do not watch it with the kids. Hardcore sex, this and that." And then
penetration, right?
So then I was like, is it worse than Doom Patrol? Because Doom Patrol has.
See, I'm not up to speed on that. Is that pretty graphic?
Yeah.
Okay.
And like the first episode specifically, you like, I think it opens with you walking in on Brendan Fraser doggy style on some girl out over the couch,
nice.
like naked.
Okay.
So I think
I didn't know that going in, so I would have had a different perspective.
So I think that I was like, fuck, you know, and then when I saw it, I was like, So when you, just to answer your question, were you surprised? Not really, because I had one guy already hit me up and tell me, so I was actually a little bit disappointed. But I think if I had gone in, like a blank host, I'd have been like, oh man, cool, like
yeah.
But I don't really have any criticism of it. I think it's goofy, but it's goofy in the right way. He's
a loser.
Yeah, and he's aware of it.
Yeah.
He puts on this front to everybody that he's the winner, but he knows that he's a fucking loser. And it's kind of genuinely heartbreaking sometimes when you get a moment with him alone and you can see like that he's pretty self-aware.
Right.
So I think it was good fun. I was surprisingly entertained by it. And I was also surprising of just how much I was surprising. I was also a bit shocked at how much heart was really in it.
Yeah. It was, I mean, James Gunn obviously is involved and like the intro for this, Joe, just look up the intro and watch it. It is bananas. It's a musical production starring everybody that's in the show.
Yeah, the intro to it is like this, like, you know.
And then he's got.
I'm interested.
He's got
with 2 shining endorsements.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
He's got an eagle. He called it. I think his name Eagly, and he gives him a hug. Like at one point
when he gets home from jail, like
and,
the eagle like hugs him.
Robert Patrick.
I love
Robert
animals.
Patrick's his dad, who turns out I guess is some white supremacist superhero that I had to look up to see. Who
I don't know who. I don't know this character.
Is there such a thing as a white supremacist superhero? That sounds like an oxymoron.
He ends up in jail. He ends up in,
oh shit!
He ends up in jail, and everybody takes a knee in front of him. So I mean, I'm interested to see where that goes. You know, and there's a little mystery and intrigue to it. But they bring up a lot of the shit that happened in the Did you see that Suicide Squad? Spit it out, Pinkerton. Did you see that last? So it's got that same vibe basically that rolls right into it.
Cool.
Now, is Peacemaker, is he super powered at all, or is he just a guy that knows how to do shit?
So like I said, I'm not that familiar.
I don't think he has any superpowers.
Yeah, no, I think
so I have another. Remember how I said you look like Keenan Ivory Wayans?
bro.
So bring up a picture of Peacemaker without his helmet on.
Really?
I had another one today. I had another one this week.
John Cena?
Yep. I had another one this week. I'm going to wait till you find him before I unleash it on the world. I do, real quick, I said Eternals because I guess I made notes. I was like, good lore, bad story to tell it, not interesting characters and their team, family dynamic isn't earned to me.
I think you can't see 7,000 years of him hanging out.
All right, hold on. I said also most roll around in the sand in the end battle. Deviant leader, more interesting than all of the characters in the team. Also has more charisma. Pip was cool to see. And then most diverse team ever. Peacemaker, good fun. Looks like Ernest with muscles.
Yeah, people have been saying that. He does look like Jim Varney. Hey, Vern.
What if he does like a reboot of Ernie?
Hey,
Bro,
Vern. That would be great. Ernie.
that would be amazing.
That would be great.
I'll tell you a funny story about Jim Varney and Ernest. He started out doing that bit as a commercial character.
Oh, really?
So Purity Dairies was the dairy. I remember as a very small child, it'd come on, TV. Hey, Vern. And it was him talking to some dude off scene that he called Vern, and he was always talking about milk.
Do you know there's this guy that's like picked up the Ernest mantle and he like carries it on? Like he does a lot of like YouTube shorts and stuff, but it's like I think he's properly licensed as like the Ernest character.
Really? I've not seen that.
So, and no normal person has, but like the only reason why I saw it in like the first year of Nerd Rage becoming a podcast, this guy who's like the biggest fan of it would write in like 2 times a week, peer pressuring us to interview this guy.
Right? I don't remember this.
Like it was like, you got to find him. You got to find him. You got to find him. You got to talk to him. Get his story. I'm sure he talked to you. He seems super cool. Get his story. And I'm like, dude, I don't care. And then like you right back, like, were you able to get his email yet? But it was like every fucking week.
And you never did, and they stopped listening.
Yeah, probably lost one. Damn, I might want some, but I just lost one, Joe. You know what I mean?
Jim Varney was a classically trained actor.
I believe it.
And he ends up as that.
What about Boba Fett?
I got lots to go, but
okay, go ahead.
come on now.
All right.
Do you want to do that now, or you want to?
I'm down to.
Well, okay. Let's do it now.
It's awful. It's fucking awful.
I don't know what
Love to
they're trying
hear
to
it.
do here.
It's awful, awful, awful. Like, it's so fucking heartbreaking, man. Like, I saw this guy do a little bit about there's I'm going to spoil it. You don't care. You don't care.
No, I mean, just like a general vibe I'm getting from my feed is that people do not like this.
It's terrible. So, like, there's this speeder bike crew. It's like a motorcycle gang, right? But they look like they could be like in Greece. Like a modern day Greece. Like they don't look like cool Star Wars characters. They just look like somebody that's like
Greece. Okay, not the country Greece.
No,
but
no.
John Travolta.
They just look
Greece.
like they just walked out of Spencer's at the
and they've
mall.
all got something that's very off-putting to me is they've all got these scooters that they ride, and they're brand new.
Yeah.
Like nothing is brand new on Tatooine ever.
Yeah.
Why do you have shiny fucking Vespas?
Maybe they cleaned that
They
shit.
go on this low speed chase through the streets of Tatooine with who's the guy that they're chasing?
So it's the Twi'lek who is the
Twi'lek.
major domo for the mayor,
And
I think.
like this guy did this thing. It was like a TikTok video that went around, and it was like, so what happens is these speeder crew that you don't give a shit about and you just meet in this episode and look stupid and are worthless go on a low speed chase that isn't exciting through the streets of Tatooine, only for them to land on top of the speeder that the guy they're chasing is driving, to stop him, for Boba Fett to land in his jetpack, which he should have used from the fucking beginning to chase down this guy in the speeder. And it's so fucking true. It's just like these like obvious little choices that they can make. Look, Star Wars, when it's done right, is the balance, much like the Force, Joe, of badassery and spirituality. That's when it's operating at its peak. They've thrown spirituality out the door. They don't care about it anymore. They could care less about the spirituality of fucking Star Wars any longer. And then now they don't even want to make the arguably the most badass character in the history of Star Wars badass anymore.
I think one of the reasons the spirituality seems to have wandered away is because they're not doing stories about Jedi. You know, they're doing stories about different shit.
You can have stories about regular people and still bring in this idea of the Force.
You can, but the thing you have to remember that we've seen in Star Wars is most of the fucking galaxy doesn't know what the fuck's going on. They don't know that shit exists.
Except Ahsoka does.
Yes.
You know, and they've brought her in, and they didn't do much for spirituality there either.
I would say the most that's been done is with her.
I would say
the beats where she's talking with Grogu,
and I would say it's vastly deficient as a series in that regard. Like, and it's just like, but I think the badassery is missing there too. Like, it's like just because a character has a helmet and fights, that's not the badass. There's a meme circulating around about I should find it because it does kind of sum up my thoughts on some of this shit. And of course, Robert sent it to me, so I got to search through hours and hours and hours of fucking bullshit and nonsense to get to it. But it was about how Han Solo's moment. There it is. Be like Han. Mm-hmm. So Han's walking down the halls of Bespin with his old friend Lando. Leia's there, looking good. Han thinks he's off to dinner, maybe some wine, maybe a little flirting, and then back to the old guest quarters with her hotness. But the door opens, and there's Darth Vader. He doesn't look incredulously at Lando. He doesn't duck. He doesn't run away. What does Han do? He starts shooting at the motherfucker. He starts shooting. Be like Han.
Yeah.
Like, even George Lucas, who's the only thing that's badass about him is his jean-size waist and his fucking throat.
Yeah.
Knows how to make a badass character just be badass. And you don't need all the glam and glitz. You just need that, like, gunslinger. And you're dealing with the Mandalorian, and you're dealing with, more importantly and perhaps more focused, Boba Fett, who's already established as a badass, and now he's got fucking Tom, Dick, and Harry running around on dumb scooters trying to catch a person that he can't.
It'd be interesting to see if those characters make it past this episode, if that was just a one and done. Hey, a couple good things. We got Stephen fucking Root in the Marvel or the Star Wars universe.
Who is he? I don't
Stephen. So Stephen Root played the merchant that comes to complain. Nobody respects you. He's overcharging for the water. The old guy, Stephen Root, who is my stapler. He's Milton from Office Space.
Milton.
He's from Dodgeball. He's the guy who's married to the Asian woman in Dodgeball.
Yes, I love that guy.
He's been in a million different things. So I was like,
great.
Stephen Root, that's great. Shifting gears away from the biker boys, go Boba Rangers. What did you think about Danny fucking Trejo being in the Star Wars universe as a Rancor keeper?
Don't care.
And what about the fight? What did you think about the fight with the Wookiee? Black Kyrgyzstan.
Boba Undies?
Yep. GreasyBobaUndies.com. It's a new website I'm starting.
I'm good.
You good?
There was this episode is
sounds like a train wreck.
Well, then there's there's two huts that come on their
I do like them.
And they basically come and say, we're fucking leaving because there's something coming that's worse than us. Yeah. And it's the Pikes, who we've heard about for years. You know, we heard about them in
they're in Clone Wars.
They're in Solo. In Solo, that's
but they've already dealt with the Pikes in some regard from the train,
right? But now there's more of them coming because they're going to try to run things because there's a power vacuum because Boba's not being a badass,
assertive.
He's not being assertive. So I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see what how many episodes is it? Is this 6?
Too many?
It's I don't know. I'm so disappointed with all of it. Like, it's just like,
I mean, you weren't like super into having a Boba Fett series in the first place. So
true, but now
it's not like it let you down in a way.
No, but you could pleasantly surprise me. Mm-hmm. You know,
you're disappointed you weren't pleasantly surprised.
Yeah,
I was disappointed that I wasn't surprised. I mean, I'm obviously going to still watch it every Wednesday.
Same.
I'll probably watch it as soon as I get up. I'll watch it by myself.
It's so funny to me. I fucking hate this. I'm going to watch it.
No, I'll watch it. Listen, I'll watch any live action Star Wars.
I'm going to watch it.
But you know what I mean? Like, this is part of the voting with your wallet thing. They got to keep making garbage if people keep eating it.
You're right. You're absolutely right, Joe. And I don't have any logical defense for it but this, right? I don't remember a time in my life without Star Wars. Mm-hmm. Star Wars is my twin sister. And we've, much like Luke and Leia, and we've grown up together. And she's made some dumb mistakes along the way. But she's always got back on track. Just recently, she's lost. She's doing heroin. She's letting anybody fuck her. She's out in these streets. She's a little hoot. Star Wars is a hootie patootie.
And you know what they say about sand, Joe? A lot of sand in these movies.
But I'll be there for her when she comes back. And until then, I'm going to keep waiting for her.
Visiting her in
rehab, trying to support her.
Yeah.
But I am vastly disappointed with her.
Some people don't recover.
Yeah. So, it's put a strain on the family.
But as a family member, you kind of just stick to the end. It's just sad to see.
There's a lot of Star Wars this year, and I'm hoping the Obi-Wan gives us the spirituality that you're craving, Bobby.
They can give us, and Obi-Wan can also give us badassery.
He can.
He can do both.
I'm interested to see how that goes.
Hello there. That in Ahsoka.
Dude,
That's one of the main things I want to see.
I'm looking forward to that too, honestly. But if it's her and Grogu against the, like, I'm out. But
no more.
I'm looking forward to the Andor show because it's going to be more of a spy.
Me too. You know, I watched the other day because I'm working on these dioramas now. I'm back to work on dioramas. And so I was scanning. I got the Celeste done, which is nice. And I was scanning through the other ones to make sure, as I'm finalizing these last 6, that I haven't missed any glaring things.
Yeah.
So scanned through episodes 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 8.
Boy, but isn't it beautiful just to be able to drag that thing on your computer and zip through it?
Watching scenes of those movies, I'm fucking halfway in tears, of just how powerful some of these moments are. And then I watched the Power Rangers in the Star Wars universe go to do their Back to the Future impression with the manure bus and I want Jon Favreau to pack his fucking bags and get the fuck away, as far away from Star Wars as humanly possible. If he has to direct an episode, so be it. But he doesn't understand that somehow he thinks it's like he watched this little adventure part of episode 4. I don't know which part exactly. Perhaps when Luke is fighting the Sand People. And as soon as that part was over, somebody fast forwarded and just dropped him in that scene. And as soon as that part was over, he turned it off and was like, I get it. And has been making Star Wars plans ever since.
I mean, don't forget Caravan of Courage exists.
And the Christmas special happened.
Well, Caravan of Courage is a classic, Joe, so I won't have you belittle that here.
And a sequel.
And they're making a 2nd season of The Bad Batch.
All right. What else happened here? I can't do this anymore.
Kelly and I started watching the 2nd season of The Boys because she hasn't seen it. So we watched the first 2 episodes of that. That's so fucking good.
So good.
So we're going to try to get through that maybe over the next couple days. Or maybe, I don't know, maybe this week. We're actually going to New York this weekend. Fingers crossed, knock on something.
Nice.
It's going to be cold as balls.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not looking forward to that. But let's see what else. So I bought trading cards for the first time in, I don't know,
Magic cards?
20 years. No, I did double sleeve them, but they weren't magic cards.
Ooh, double sleeve.
I bought an AEW hobby box, which is 16 packs of 8 cards. I pulled a card that the value hasn't been determined yet. There's one on eBay for like $7,000, but it's on eBay for $7,000. But it's a 1 of 25.
Oh wow!
It's a signed hollow card.
Double sleeve that bitch. Put in the case.
It's already double sleeved. Yeah. I thought about sending some of them off to get graded, but
GMC or whatever.
I don't. I've been meaning to mention this. So,
no, that GMC is Good Morning Cabbage.
Flipping through.
What is the other company called? Damn it.
The algorithm obviously found me checking for these cards, and it put an ad up for a grading service.
Yes.
Who is? I don't know how much majority he has, but he's in the fucking commercials. Master P is involved in a card grading service. And
dude, it's a racket though.
It's all
but just go with it. They have a monopoly on it. The standard guys
make them say 9.5.
Well, this is all done. It's all done. It's all done with computers.
Yeah.
There's no, you're not going to send a card back and get a different grade like you can because the guy was in a bad mood that day when he was grading your card. Yeah. So that was fun to open those. I don't know how much further I'll go because I don't want to collect all the signature cards because it would cost a fortune.
Yep.
So I may wait till there's a value on this card and either sell it or trade it or something. I've gotten back.
Why don't you just keep it? What the fuck? Well, you bought cards and then you find out one that's worth a lot. That's like your prized possession. I don't know. We have different mentality. You flew it. When I find something that's valuable, it's a bonus to me that I have this thing, and now it's extra valuable. Yeah. Versus most people, most sane people are like, this is extra valuable. I can get some money for it. I think that's actually normal.
It's like if I was going to have one of these signature cards from somebody, it's probably not from this guy. It's from MJF, who's a great character, but I don't care enough about him to have a signature card, especially if it goes for thousands of dollars.
That's just something cool.
MJF, more like NBD.
There you go.
I mean, you pull it. I don't know. I guess I get it. Like I fucking gave Cody the game because I didn't care, and I know he did. So
that was very generous of you too.
I've continued watching these little short documentaries on the Vice stuff. It's on YouTube. I watched one about how big the illegal weed market is in California. And like the dispensaries are struggling because people are still just buying weed on the street. it's cheaper and it's a higher strain. So
you gotta be careful now.
I know.
Like finding fentanyl and some of that shit.
I know.
All kinds of shit in there.
So that's the thing. It's not regular.
Fucking whatever.
But it's depending on what neighborhood it's in, then people are going to want that stuff.
Yeah.
Started.
Supply and demand, bro.
I started back on some dioramas, bringing back an old piece. So I had to tweak it because it used to be made of 4 pieces of 1-inch foam, and now I can do 2-inch foam. So I spent on probably 4 or 5 hours laying it back out and test cut it, and it's going to look good. And then a project I've been working on in my mind forever. I finally figured out how to do it, and I did it, and it works. And I'm fucking excited to put that out. So
Well, that's cool.
yeah.
But you're not
Cool
taking
stuff going on.
commissions anymore.
No, I'm not. I mean, it would depend on the opportunity. So, I mean, someone had talked to me about doing something for Toy Fair, and I'm kind of glad I drug my feet on it because Toy Fair's not happening.
Yep.
So, I think that's it.
All right. I don't have. I think I have a few things, but not too terrible. Let's see. I said Book of Boba. Remember Rancors?
So, real quick, do you think if they had waited to do that until Rancors appear on our screens again, do you think that would have had any effect
I
on
just
it?
don't need. Like I want.
Not you personally. I'm talking about the
market.
the market for the HasLab.
Oh
Do you
no,
think it
me
would have
personally,
funded?
no. I think the key to that.
I'm not saying you in particular. Do you think just there's a Rancor? I
no,
better get a Rancor.
I mean, me personally, for the fan base,
Okay.
think that it had nothing to do with that. Had nothing to do with how much people like Rancors.
Okay.
So it doesn't matter how many more Rancors you put at people. It all had to do with the tie-in characters.
Gotcha.
All right, and the price tag.
Yeah.
And competing with other things.
Like themselves.
Yes. Yeah. I watched Long Halloween Part 1 and 2, the animated films.
Okay.
Part 1, great. Part 2, okay.
Is it not accurate or something?
So here's the thing. They've made some changes throughout, which I'm here for
Yes.
that because like I don't need to see, I can read the book if I want to just hear the same story over and over. So I actually appreciate the changes. They changed Gilda, Harvey's wife, and made her, in my opinion, far more interesting. Like she's got the reasons why she does what she does, far more fleshed out, a lot more heart, soul, all that kind of stuff. I think it's an improvement upon it vastly. She had like an abortion and an annulled marriage and all this shit, like just tragic things about it. It's like, oh, no wonder you're in this space. There's more action in the third act of Part 2 than the original, and I don't know if I found that to be of any value. It was just like, I guess we had $10,000 more in the budget to spend.
Right.
And I actually found it a bit distracting. I said overall enjoyable and recommended. And
Yeah, same from me.
I didn't realize this Naya Rivera, that this was Catwoman in this movie and all this shit. Like she like supposedly she was on a boat.
Yeah, she drowned.
She drowned. She saved her son. She like put her son back on the boat.
Yeah, this was a big story.
It was a big story, like a
2020.
year. Yeah. I didn't know that was her. So that was what a tragic thing. I tried a new show on HBO. I think it's a Max original called Raised by Wolves.
I've been wanting to watch that.
So
It's a sci-fi show, right?
it is. Not for me. I didn't make it through the whole show. I found it to be work to watch it, and I tapped out. I couldn't handle it.
Joe, I figured out how to get Bobby to watch The Expanse. HBO. If it gets on HBO.
Wow. No. I got Amazon Prime.
I know, but you watch it. You love HBO.
I do, but I just tried it, and it wasn't for me. And there's season 2 is getting ready to start of it, and I saw a trailer for that, and I was like, "Damn, that looks pretty fucking cool." Then I watched this one. There's like for like a half hour of it, and look, I can appreciate art and that it's art and all, and that's fine.
What is art, though?
Dude.
We're not having that conversation.
Anybody can be as artsy as they want to be, but I can also be as non-cultured to say, not for me.
Sure.
The first half hour of this fucking show, I don't think there's one word exchanged between these characters. These like two spacemen, it was like a space woman and a spaceman. Spaceman kind, Joe, is what I'm saying. They arrive on this planet and they seem sort of androgynous. Like you could tell that one's a female and one's a male, but there's no like identifying body. Like she's not thick, she's not curvy, she's not. It just they almost look like two asexual bodies with one male face and one female face. At some point, she gets pregnant, and then she has like these tubes hooked up to her, and the tubes are running into these like vats of like this petroleum jelly type substance, and she has like a litter of children that are born in these vats of jelly. And
loving it already.
Then some of them are having a hard time, it seems like, making it, this litter.
So is this like a montage to kind of explain where we start?
You see them build a little tent.
Okay.
They did some farming. They're wearing spacesuits. They look like the Bullet Men from DC Comics. Like
yeah.
And that was about it. And I was like, you know what? I'm sure it's great. I'm out. But I did give it a shot.
Not that I would probably give it a time because I have so many other things, but it sounds interesting to me the way you described it.
Yeah.
I like sci-fi.
I think I do.
Bobby, do you have, or do either one of you have an Apple Plus subscription?
I had it. I had a free one, but there's a good shit on there. Like,
there's a couple of shows on there I want to watch. The Foundation is one on there.
That
Ted Lasso
cult show that I told you, the M. Night Shyamalan show was pretty good. That was an Apple thing, but we let it lapse. I don't have time to watch the shit that I want to watch already.
I want to sit down and like figure out like if you want to watch this show, just fucking subscribe to it while it's on. And
the last thing I watched was also on Vice.
Okay.
So I got privy to this viral video of birds aren't real. Are you familiar with this?
I'm familiar on the outskirts of it. I know it exists, but I don't really.
So like 5 years ago or some shit, this guy showed up to some protest that he cared nothing about and had a sign, and he put on the sign, "Birds aren't real." And a news camera caught it and started talking to him about it. And he's like, since 1976, the United States government has been covering up a massive genocide of the birds, where they replaced them with mechanical clones or mechanical robot drones to spy on the American population.
Why do you still shit though?
So they, he had all these like hashtags like when have you seen a baby pigeon, and it's like hashtags like everywhere. Like,
you don't see baby birds in general in the nest.
So he goes on this he does like a couple like big news interviews because his movement actually gets up and going. Of course,
because it's fucking stupid and people are stupid.
Yeah, that's why I don't trust the Google reviews. And he said he said on there, he was like this like, he has like a drink of coffee, and this guy's like, so let me get your point of view, and he fakes vomits the coffee all over the like it's like a Zoom interview, and he's like, I'm sorry, I'm just so nervous on this, you know what I mean? And like, it's so fucking funny. It's like, then he goes on this other show, and he goes like in person, and they're like, and this woman is interviewing him, is like, now I'm guessing this is some sort of satire that you're trying to make some sort of point. What's the point? And he was like, frankly, I find that a little offensive. You know, I bet you if I came in here and said that birds were real, you wouldn't think it was satirical. And like, I'm fucking crying, laughing from this shit, right? So Vice does this special on him, and they're like showing him some of the footage, and they're like, can you explain this to me? And at a certain point, he just cracks. And he's like, look, this is the first time I've broken character in 5 years. I don't even know really how to act about this. But like, it was all this fucking massive troll, and it's like, it's pretty interesting if anybody gets a chance.
Because he has to live his regular ass life with his regular ass friends and family too.
Yeah, but it's like, so he said that like him and his friends were in on it, and they were all kind of coming up with like the theology behind it and everything. But like, there was also this like thing with like he was like maintaining character like pretty much everywhere because he never knew where he was going to get caught. Yeah. And he was like, man, I don't even know how to like be me anymore. Like, I've been being this like, you know, and it's pretty brilliant to watch. And I think that it's I watched
Robert Downey Jr. in Tropic Thunder. I'm the dude who plays a dude
disguised as another dude. I watched so I'm still watching.
Who are you?
Just Like Us, right? The Sex and the City sequel. And
you weren't having a good time with it.
It's a roller coaster. Like, there's some episodes that are better than others. Like, there's some weird decisions where there's like time jumps right as you're getting into like the
there was something interesting going on, and it skips, and you
3 months later,
and you wanted to know how.
Like, wait, what happened?
Yeah.
But one of the for those that and I know many people don't know, so for the I do get some people writing in about it. So Miranda. We are kind of like the Sex and the City girls podcasting in many ways.
We're missing one.
Well, there's only 3 now.
Oh, is there? Okay, the one die.
Oh, that's true.
The mannequin chick's not there anymore.
Yeah, and oddly enough, that's me. Maybe it's, I think I'm whoring it up.
Are you?
I think in my mind anyway. Anyway, I digress. So Miranda is cheating on her husband. No, she cheated on her husband with this asexual lesbian. I don't know how to describe it. It's LGBTQ plus, and it fits. I'm sure this individual fits in that category. I believe this individual is a they them, but also seems to be lesbian in terms of preferences, or at least I shouldn't say that because that's not technically right. But females seem to be the preference.
Okay.
Anyway, that aside, Miranda's cheating on her husband with this person. And like, I'm fucking pissed. And like, but like in all the right ways, like where you're like emotionally vested. Like her husband is a good dude, like a nice guy. This guy Steve, and he's just like he's made some mistakes along the way, but like he really genuinely cares about her and the kids, and but like their marriage has kind of gotten the passion is not really there and stuff like that. But it's like it is heartbreaking for me to watch because I really like the character. But other than that,
with that and like that's something like this deep seated fear in you.
Yeah.
I feel like that always like
you're gonna leave like the rest of them.
But I mean, people who cheat. I feel like from just personal experience of things I've been through and people I know, it's not oftentimes like a lot of people are like, oh, no wonder she's cheating, he's cheating, their significant other is awful, but that's not the case. A lot of times they're just like, they're not even shitty people cheating, they're just like people who couldn't fucking keep their shit in check and have to fuck somebody else regardless of having a good significant other at home.
Agreed.
And that's just
like Leo DiCaprio in that movie, right?
Yes, exactly. And don't yeah.
Moving into notes. Bob's Burgers is coming out with a feature-length film.
Love Bob's Burgers.
I love Bob's Burgers, bro.
I do too.
I think Bob's Burgers is my office.
So I watched the trailer.
I did too.
Did you?
Yep.
Let me tell you my impressions of the trailer.
Okay.
It seems like it's going to be a longer episode of Bob's Burgers that's more rendered.
Correct. They're using shadow a lot. Yes. I noticed almost too much, and it's PG-13.
Yeah, and I'm not mad. I'm not mad at that take on it. It seems like a regular episode that's just long.
I mean, isn't that like the South Park movie was like that?
Yeah, but the South Park had like
a lot of production.
Their
musical score was off the charts. That three-part fucking.
They performed that shit at the Grammys.
That's amazing.
Robin Williams performed it.
It's fucking good.
Yeah,
I just need to watch that movie again. That's actually a very good movie.
It is. It is about censorship ultimately and all this, but
I'm passionate about censorship.
I know. But anyway, it seems good. I just thought about a person in my life. That I was like, man, I think this person looks like God drew them in a Bob's Burgers style.
So they don't have a chin?
Well, it's weird. Like, but I don't know. It's like
Is that your third one of the week?
It's just like this. It's just like this non-defined like oblong hot dog shaped
human shaped human.
Yeah,
human shaped human. It's very human.
Yeah, like Gumby is human shaped human.
Yeah,
Gumby's. You've watched that lately? That shit's creepy as fuck.
It's extremely.
So the other thing is like a little bit of sad news that was brought to our attention regarding Alex Milne. Have you seen this at all?
With the comic drawer of DW. I'm off the charts today. I can't with letters. IDW.
IDW's more specifically, More Than Meets the Eye, the kind of more critically acclaimed.
What I loved of IDW.
He put out these kind of like ominous tweets recently. He said, I haven't posted in a while, still figuring some stuff out. I'll make a post about that at another time. Right now, I'm waiting in the emergency room at the hospital to have a new wound on my foot looked at. I've had a wound on the bottom of my left foot for some time that I've been getting treatment for. This new one is on the top and has me worried for how swollen and irritated it looks. I'd share share a pic, but it's not pleasant to look at. Biggest problem is that I've lost most feeling in my feet, so I don't know how bad it is because I feel no pain. I just know it looks very bad. Yeah.
That's it, diabetes? That sounds like diabetes.
It doesn't sound good.
That's lose a foot kind of stuff.
Yes.
That's what it sounds like to me too, but I'm but anyway, I just wanted to if you know what I mean, if a lot of the people that listen to this show I assume are Transformer fans, if you're on Twitter, find Alex Milne, send him some words of encouragement.
Send him some good vibes.
Yeah, send him some good vibes. It sounds like
send him some money.
Sounds like he could use it.
Sorry, GoFundMe for him.
And then the last one I have is this Knights. I call it the Knights of Ren and Stimpy.
Would you like to buy some rubber nipples?
Have you? I think that's going to be the episode title. Have you seen this rumored Knights of Ren trailer?
I am not, because it doesn't seem like it's anything official.
Did they need anything? They were like, they had a name for whatever the fuck they are, but like I know nothing about them. I don't care about them.
So I'm gonna
flash in the pan.
I'm gonna stop this so we can watch it. It's very short. I think it's fake. Let me put that out there. I'm pretty sure.
Fake.
Okay, hold on. All right.
That's fake.
No, obviously.
The simple answer to that is Disney tells you what the fuck they're going to be doing. It's like they're sneaking around making shows.
The other simple thing is, if it were real, Disney would have definitely had it taken down.
Yeah. But I do commend whoever put it up.
It's probably the best I've ever seen.
And then they filmed them watching.
They filmed the filming
to make
of
it look. They should have put copyright property of Buena Vista Pictures or something on the bottom.
I watched the anime.
It looks pretty good though. Like it's obviously it looks like the Lord of the Rings guy. Well, like, doesn't it? Riding a Nazgul, but instead it's a TIE fighter or whatever.
I was wondering if any of that was existing footage, but it doesn't come to mind right away.
I mean, like it's not easy because I don't know how to do it, but it's much easier nowadays to just make high quality effects and fan movies and fan films.
But it looks I mean, I commend them. I think they did a great job.
This is the when you like hide this guy.
Yeah. And I think that's it. So we can get into questions. We had one that was sent to us via Facebook, via Twitter, so I'll read that one first. What was more distracting in last week's Book of Boba? The hipster squad's squeaky clean Vespas or Boba Fett's teeth? My man is seriously one yawn away from those dentures tumbling out.
I haven't noticed the teeth.
They definitely are fake. Like, but I don't know if they might be implants because today.
Good for tomorrow.
Veneers are popular.
Yeah, veneers.
Kristen wants to get veneers.
Yeah,
just for like the aesthetics and ease of care.
Yeah. So it's all awful. His teeth and the fucking.
I mean, it makes sense
Vespas.
if you're like a big bike guy that you shine the shell of your bike, right? I don't know. I haven't seen this.
Something we didn't.
You ever see like biker gangs with dirty ass bikes? So don't they shine the fucking bikes? Don't they polish that shit?
Gang, but
I don't know. I'm talking on my ass.
On Tatooine, you'd think somebody just steal that shit from him in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
Back to Boba for a minute. We didn't flesh this out at all. I thought, from a storytelling standpoint, it would been better if instead of the Wookiee just kind of slinking away, that he's like, "Why don't you work for me?"
Well, yeah, that would have been better.
I figured that's what was going to happen to flesh this out, because apparently in the comic, which is canon, they end up working together.
Do you want to know what the brass tacks would be better of just if he just walked away instead of did that awkward run?
Oh, it was like, Chewbacca trying to slink through the woods. I'm like, what the fuck is happening?
It was just like, why are you in such a rush? Like, you've got, like, they're not going to.
Where are you going?
They're not going to kill you. They're letting you go.
Yeah.
Just have a walk. Have a trot. It's hot. You got all that fur.
And it's a black fur to boot.
Yeah, it's got to absorb it.
And how are those shoulder pads attached to your body? It doesn't make any sense. Is it Velcro? You have Velcro. It attaches to your matted fur.
Yeah, not good.
I want to see the salon that the Wookiees go to.
Oh.
To just, get all them naps combed out.
Yeah, I would be up for that.
I'm going to go get a blow dry. It's a fucking car wash.
They have one of those like things, but it's like all over the body.
Encapsulates them.
All right, so then we have our regular questions.
And you can send those over to
nerdrageradiomail@gmail.com.
That's right. nerdrageradiomail@gmail.com. So KFC wrote in, "Hey Power Ragers, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to you guys. I'm sure Bobby loves to hear it this late in the game. First off, Joe, do you know that Vin Diesel only eats 2 meals a day? Breakfast and Brick Furious."
There you go, Pinkerton. Feel it in your soul.
You guys talking about Black Widow 1 and 2 last week reminded me that I wanted to tell you that me and my nerdy work friends at work call Black Widow 2 Baby Widow.
Oh, talking about
The blonde one.
Yeah, the blonde one.
2 questions. First one is for Joe and Bobby. What would be a good display method for Power Ranger Megazord Super Sentai Mecha?
I mean, how big? Like,
There's a
they
lot.
come in different scales. Yeah,
Joe probably knows that usually they're just blocky with usually just straight arms moving up and down.
Yeah, I mean, like if you get like the Titanicus or whatever, the fucking Bogdosaurus and the Dragon Sword,
Which is the one that's like
shit,
which one is like one of them looks like the Technodrome thing from Power Rangers. I mean from Turtles, except it's got like a dinosaur.
Yeah, that's a Brontosaurus. That's I think it's Titanicus. It's like a big Brontosaurus, which the regular Megazord sits on, and then the Dragon Zord is like a fucking hood on top of it.
I know
It's
he didn't
crazy.
ask me specifically, but I'm just going to say in a detail. I mean, it's,
I don't know. I don't know if that thing fits in a detail.
I know.
Well, all together.
Magic case.
That doesn't stop anybody else.
But to be fair, like that's true.
Yeah.
But just because you can doesn't mean you should. But like
Exactly.
I like Power Rangers and stuff myself, but like the aesthetics of Zords vary in range. Some of them are cool and some of them are ridiculous. So I don't think they're the coolest things to put in like a glass case. I would have them just in fucking billies, really, like you would any like older like 80s toys. If you have like G1 Transformers, however you would put those up, that's how it would.
I'm not familiar enough to really give an opinion, to be honest.
Jimmy, you reviewed some.
I have, but I can't
They're
remember.
the high end ones, actually.
The Bandai ones, right?
Yeah.
Sola Chijoken?
Yeah.
Second for Pinkerton is how would you want a Goldberg streak to end, and were you okay with how it happened?
So, just for reminiscing sake, Goldberg was a WCW product. He was
Another
a
bald white guy.
He played.
I like him already.
He played football for the Atlanta. I think he played for the Atlanta Falcons. Just a very brief stint. So he comes in and just they don't make a big deal. It's just this new guy, and he just starts destroying people. And basically, he beats up jobbers and people who are on lower in the card.
Jobbers the Hut?
For like months, and finally he ends up winning the championship from Hulk Hogan on a Monday Night Nitro show, which was unheard of at the time for a title change. And then not too terribly long after that, he's wrestling Kevin Nash, and Scott Hall hits him with a cow prod electric shock thing, and Kevin Nash beats him and then gives the belt back to Hogan.
That sounds wild as fuck.
I think streaks like that are ridiculous, in my opinion.
Wow.
I mean, like right now, AEW is doing something similar with a guy named Wardlow. They're building him up. And Goldberg can't wrestle. He's fucking awful.
He was in the Universal Soldiers movie.
He sure was. He's good at what he does, which is a 4-minute match.
He hosts some shit or other too, doesn't he?
He's hosts all
I've seen
sorts
him on
of
TV.
car shows. and
Wolverine is good at what he does, but what he does isn't very nice.
But no one ever knows what it is that he does.
shit. So
Like sniff shit? Remember, have you seen the montage of the X-Men of him? I smell it in the air, dude. That was an amazing supercut of this
Yeah.
Wolverine animated series sniffing shit.
yeah, but to answer the question, I mean, if they're still going to do the streak, the only other thing I could see is if they were building someone else up in the same situation, like this Unstoppable Force, and have them meet at some point.
He said, "Seriously, love you guys, and still been going through some tough times lately. Keep up the great work." Jason M. Hi, Nerd Ragers. This question is for Bobby, but would like Chris and Joe's thoughts as well. I noticed that you don't put Autobot and Decepticon emblems on your third-party figures. For me personally, that is a must before putting them in the display, and completes the look and gives me the good feels of my childhood by seeing those on my figures. I just would like everyone's thoughts on this. So I used to be heavy on it.
Yeah. Repolebos.
Still around.
But I just stopped caring as much about it. But I think now I think in my mind, when I'm done, I'll go through and do them all.
But you never be.
Because like the other thing is like I don't know what I'm keeping and what I'm not, at the end of the day. So it's like I'm tired of putting stickers on shit and devaluing them.
I recently threw away a whole bunch of both of the faction symbols I had just
From Repro Label?
or just from around. I don't know. They make some dry rub ones now. They're actually kind of nice.
Yeah, I'm too fucking lazy, first of all. But like, stickers are ugly to me. I would like dry rub decals or those embossed ones.
Yeah.
Those are great. Like I would put those on if I had them, but like I'm too lazy and I don't feel like buying them.
Yeah, they just don't make a whole world of difference to me. I used to think they did, but they don't really to me. But I think one day eventually I will.
Yeah.
But it's so far down my to-do list. It's I gotta watch Expanse.
That's right. I would much rather you watch Expanse and spend time putting. You could probably do them both at the same time if you worked it out right.
That is true. But it does. I think it does make a difference. Like once you see it, once you actually do it, it does make a difference.
I agree.
But like it's not missing much if you don't already have it.
Right. I agree. Ibuka. He said, apologies for last week's question. Hindsight being 2020 should have vetted that before sending. Oh, no worries. I got a short question today. With Bobby talking a lot about formulas of media getting stale and that of Star Wars and Marvel specifically, at what point, if any, do you stop consuming formulaic content? And do you feel there are any long franchises that have consistently remained new and fresh? And have there been any media you stopped watching because you got tired of the formula? That's about it. Thanks for the pod. Thanks for your time. I mean, so like that's a question I'm seriously asking myself these days. Like, and I just don't know the answer. I think that if I had more options of shit that I actually wanted to watch, I feel like right now I'm existing in a time where I can watch a billion things and I don't want to watch any of it.
That's exactly right. We're all paralyzed by our options.
Yeah, like
it's like a goddamn Denny's menu, diners, diner.
I mean,
cheesecake factory.
You know when you go to a restaurant and it's got like 5 things on the menu, it's like, oh yeah, nice. And like you go to like one of those diners,
perfect, the Bible size.
And it's just like, man,
I get a T-bone steak and a French toast.
I guess I'll get a creme brulee and a club sandwich.
Question mark? Yes.
It's so saturated and not with things that are exceptional. Like it's been a long time since I've seen something exceptional. It's like it's good. I find good things. I find every now and then some great things. I find a fuck ton of mediocre things. But
that's the bell curve, though.
Correct. But what I'm saying is the bell curve has gotten so wide that it's been so much harder for me to find things that are exceptional. And like as a result, I think it's discouraging. I'd much rather sit in my living room now and listen to music than fucking turn the television on.
Well, I gave up on the Bad Batch after 3 episodes. I didn't watch that.
You're smart because you're smart.
I mean, I may put it on as a background in the shop one day or something, but I don't have any intentions to like binge it or anything. And I didn't find it enjoyable.
Yeah,
I don't run out of things to watch because like I consume media in such a wide variety. Like even like,
well, you have basically scheduled time to consume media too.
That's
with what you
but
guys
also
do.
like when I drive, like I watch a lot of YouTube. Right, that's always,
allegedly.
That's always always Twitch. I mean, there's so many different forms of media consumed that I don't run out of things that I'm at least somewhat interested in to pass the time, because that's what really entertainment is. A lot of times, it's a time passer that when you can't do what you want to do. Otherwise, like if you have anything productive, like are you doing with your hands or writing or thinking about, like you're not consuming anything because you're producing, right? So. I don't run out of things, and I don't think formulaic things will ever go out of style because there's a reason why
they're formulaic. Yeah, I agree with that.
It works for 90% of people 90% of the time, and you always sell that. And humans being existed for like writing stories for 6,000 years. There's only so much to fucking write about because there is a lane in which you have to stay in. Because if you go too far, most people don't accept it unless it's exceptional because it's too raft, right?
Yep.
People are like, well, I want something original. That's too original, right? Yeah. So like you limit creators or commercial creators in what they can make.
I agree with you 100%.
Yep,
I agree with you 100%. All right, and then this is not a question. This is somebody trying to get me to claim a podcast on something, so I just kept it open for a second. Business shit. Make sure I didn't give the fake name. Okay, Richard says, Iron Studio Statues. Hey man, a couple months ago I wrote about some gender and kid stuff that you actually read on air, and it led to a great conversation on that topic, which was great to hear. But now I'm back with another heavy topic. Statues.
Oh, wait, we just made a podcast about it.
I know. At least quarter scales are pretty fucking heavy anyway. One thing I wanted to call out about those Iron Studios 1/10 scale ones I haven't really heard mention is that they are excellent ways to get into the statue game. I picked up a couple of their X-Men ones due to the pricing being so good and the size being so small that it wouldn't be a hassle to find space to display them. Now, less than a year later, I've got half a dozen or more and have pre-orders for 1/6 and quarter scale statues from XM and Sideshow.
Yep, nice.
If anything, Iron Studios is too good because they convinced me to drop thousands into a hobby that I only had a passing interest in a few months back. And what little interest I had before was from you guys talking about them on the show. So I kind of blame you guys too.
Nice.
Anyway, keep up the awesome work. Yeah, I mean,
it's always there's always a step up. Once you get into something, then it becomes easier.
Step up 2. The dance movie, you know.
Bring it on.
No, that's
something different.
Something different, but close.
Stick it.
And I wanted to say that if you're interested on the Patreon, there's a great statue discussion on there. It's like an intro statue conversation, covers as much as we could think.
Did you see the fucking Iron Studios mutants from Thundercats?
They
look fucking great.
They look great.
Because in my mind, it's like, why would you ever make statues of? They're fucking goofy, right?
Until you see them.
You make. I mean, Thundercats are kind of goofy unless you're in the know, right?
Yep.
And then Mumra, that's it. But they made the fucking those goofy ass
Lithe
fucking Power Ranger fucking villains look great.
Garinger, my good friend, wrote in. First off, Bobby, a couple weeks ago, you were talking about the Netflix documentary about the guy who put his family in the oil tanks, and I sat there thinking, where have I heard this before? And then I remembered this was the Watts murders, which happened about 30 minutes from my hotel, and remember that it was all over the local news at the time. I'll have to check that out, yeah. Last week, you talked briefly about the credit card scam where they are imprinting their own cards. Funny thing is, I caught one trying to set up shop in my hotel about a year back. What they were doing is stealing a physical card, then flattening it out, the name, stamping a new one on it. They had hit a number of hotels of jewelry stores. They ended up leaving a Nintendo Switch behind at a hotel, and when they called for it, I was able to help the police set up a time, and they all got busted. Best part was I got to keep the Switch.
Wow. Nice.
Dude, but you got to be careful with all that public snitching, you know what I mean?
Well, you didn't read the first and last name like you usually do, so you'll be fine.
True, just the last name, which I think is worse. You guys were also talking about pizza last week, and I tell you, if you ever come to Colorado, and now he knows where the state he's in too.
Because there's 30 minutes from that murder, right? With the last name, works in a hotel.
Be able to triangulate your position.
Give me 15 minutes. Somebody will be knocking on your door.
Google Maps.
Dude, as soon as NRR gets hot in the streets, you're going to be in trouble. You guys were talking about pizza last week, and I tell you, if you ever come to Colorado, you need to stop at Bojo's, my favorite pizza place.
Bobby and Joe's?
Dude, I like it. But they only have a handful of shops in Colorado. I attached a picture for just one for reference, which is an interesting pizza.
I don't like it.
I don't like it. Dude,
it looks like it'd be stuffed crust.
Yes, it does. It looks like it.
But it doesn't look cooked enough.
I'm down.
I'm open-minded.
I mean, I will eat it. Don't get me wrong. But like looking at it, I don't like the way it looks.
I'll eat them 2 at a time.
2 questions for Joe. MTG. I don't know what that is.
Magic the Gathering, motherfucker.
Spell table, motherfucker.
Spell table, bitch. Have you heard of Phage the Untouchable?
Yes.
That card won me more games than I can remember. Everyone I used to play with fucking hated seeing me put her out.
I mean, there's a lot of cards like that, but there's also a double-edged sword because that could easily kill you too. But yeah, that's the thing. Problem with Magic. Part of the problem is like you can pay to win. You know, unless you in a tournament setting anyway. At home, it's hard to gauge for me personally because I have a little bit of disposable income and I buy all these fucking cards. If I'm going to like my friend's house or a local store, like I would feel bad using certain things because that's you have to discuss with your opponent. Like if they have a fucking $50 deck and you have a $5,000 deck, it's not gonna be fun for either one of you unless you just like to win, which some people do.
Thoughts on Samurai Champloo?
I love Samurai Champloo. The soundtrack is great, story is great, the ending is good and sad. Not sad even,
melancholy.
Yeah, I can't work.
And
today,
the infinite
sadness. My fucking foreign as fuck today.
I have tried to.
I still haven't figured out what the grading company is. I keep thinking GMC, which
is CGC.
CGC. Thank you.
I have tried to watch a number of anime and couldn't get into many, and part of that I think is how many episodes there are. But this show I loved. Mm-hmm. I am sure you know it, but just wondering what your thoughts were.
No, I love it. It's classic. It's great. It's one of the like standout of the 90s.
Yeah,
yeah, and I like the soundtrack.
And listen, on the pizza front, if anybody out there, if you have a local place that has great pizza and they deliver frozen pizzas, we'll be happy to try. We'll put it up.
We'll buy it.
Yeah.
We'll buy it. Have it sent here.
There you go. I was
have it eat it while we'll review it on air.
We'll review it on air.
There you go.
Last one, I think I might have one in the Patreon. I'll check real quick. But Billing said, "Car talk. Greetings and salutations. I was curious about your thoughts and practices of car rides when you do and don't have passengers. This could be children, spouses, friends, other family, etc. In regards to talking, listening to music, idle chit chat, deep and thought provoking conversations, serious topics, listening to podcasts, or bumping the music as loud as you want." Basis for this question: I have 2 young kids, 3 and 7, who simply do not shut up when we were in the car. It can be 5-minute drive to school or a 4-hour road trip. The 7-year-old asks me questions nonstop like we're on a fucking trivia game show. The 3-year-old just likes to jabber and mostly talk to herself. Before kids, I would rock out the music. That's what a car ride was to me. I was the singing into the steering wheel kind of guy. Now it's just children's songs and nonstop talking. It drives me nuts. My wife always wants to talk when it's just her and I in the car, which I suppose I understand because it's just us, isolated without the kids. But let me just listen to some damn music while I drive. The trees and light poles going by are looking more enticing with each trip. Joe, I know you watch YouTube while you drive. Allegedly.
And Twitch.
That's completely insane to me. Love, peace, and titty grease, Billings.
With as much as I drive, not having a other than one time, getting a ticket.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, right. It was a warning. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not the kind of Asian who can't drive. Like there's those kind of Asians.
I know. I've seen them driving. I've also seen plenty.
No idea what you're talking about.
Listen, I've also seen plenty of.
You fell right into the white trap, Pinkerton.
No, listen, I've also seen plenty of white people that can't drive for shit.
Yeah, women
and people who shouldn't. People that shouldn't be driving. If somebody's in the car, I'm honestly probably not really trying to do anything other than talk to them. And if there's music on, be like, hey, listen to this song or something.
Not with Bobby in the car.
No, I'll never forget that.
Music or no music.
That Rammstein
music
trip.
And no talking, or talking and no music.
Correct. I'm not good at background music. I'm not good at it. I get distracted. I can't focus on the conversation. I can't focus on the conversation.
And he's just mad at you for talking when he's trying to listen to music.
Yeah, well, I get a little irritated. Dude, there's nothing worse than I always pay that forward. When somebody's like, hey, I want you to check out this song, I will sit and listen to that song and then give you my thoughts on it. I hate a motherfucker where I'm like, hey, man, check this out. And then 30 seconds into it, they're like, hey, what are you doing Thursday? I'm like, what are we doing? What are we doing?
Well, the difference with that is in a car ride, right? If you're not saying listen to this to try it, if you just put on music, right, and they talk to you, and then you get irritated, it's
I don't.
Right. But it's a thing where like you can listen to, well, maybe this guy can't. Right. You can listen to music anytime on your own. When someone's in the car, you can't always have that conversation. You might wrap your car around the light pole, and then you don't get to talk to your wife anymore, and then you're gonna regret it.
So
sorry, Derek, I don't know why.
I don't think that extreme case needs to be made for it, but I think that just
that's where my mind goes.
In general, when somebody gets in my car, I don't default to we're just doing music.
Yes, no.
I default to conversation, but if we're gonna do music, then we're gonna do music, and we can stop. We don't have to do it the whole time.
Well, like when me and you went to
between songs, after a song is over, then you can.
Well, when Bobby and I went to our clubhouse at Fort Armistead, that's the official Nerd Rage clubhouse. By the way.
Wow, is it? I was not involved in that decision.
It was funny because you were trying to hook up your Bluetooth, and I guess Laura's old phone. Remember that? It was playing something like we couldn't figure out where the fuck this music was coming from.
Oh yeah.
Well, you played. You asked me what you want to hear some drill or something, and you played some songs.
Of course.
I mean, it was fine. I sat and listened to what you listened to, and then we'd bullshit and talk and make fun of it, and
you made fun of it. Bobby's seething on the inside.
This guy's got 600 followers.
Yeah, he's on the cusp of making it.
And he wants to know if you got 4 friends that can want to make some money.
So I am the guy who would like depending on the song. If I'm listening to music, I would sit. But after I park, I would wait till the song finished before I turn the car off.
Me too. I'll also tell you this.
A lot of times.
One thing that we did with our kids, and look, and I'm not saying there's a right and a wrong answer to this. It's just what we decided to do. We never did kid music, ever.
No, we never did
That's
either.
the president.
Ever. The kids never had like the sing-alongs. They never had like, if they wanted to sing along, they sang along to what we were listening to.
And they have their own kinds. That's how I got into like. That's how I know oldies. It's because my parents listen to whatever the fuck they're listening to. So like, you know,
I mean,
I
I'll be
John or
honest
whatever
with
when I
you,
was
like,
young.
Sounds awful. We don't take our kids a lot of places. We don't, because there's not a lot, and they always, no matter what we do, they end up complaining about it.
Right.
So it's like, why? But when we do, thank God that they have tablets and stuff now, because
Yeah.
I don't get much. Are you there yet? Or when are we there yet? Because they're busy doing something on there.
The second thing that we never did, just in regards to, just because it's kind of topical, we never baby talked our kids. Like we never like,
Oh yeah.
I thought Bobby was gonna say we never use car seats. They came out fine.
They made it.
They made it.
But yeah, we just it's just not how we play. So like, oftentimes in the car, Laura usually drives because Laura's a control freak.
Really?
Which actually,
Not you.
so what's funny is Laura and I just kind of like, what do you call it when you in therapy when you have like a breakthrough? It's called like a.
Oh, breakthrough.
Is that what it's called? I feel like there's another word for it. Like you had maybe it is a breakthrough.
An epiphany.
Maybe. I don't know. But anyway, where like she is this person that constantly needs control,
Okay.
and I am this person with very limited self-control. And how those two dichotomies have kind of worked out. It's just been interesting. But like, so she often drives, and my rule in the car is the driver calls the shots. So if the driver wants to listen to music, we listen to music.
Right.
If the driver wants to have background music, we have background music. If the driver wants no music, we have no music. Because the driver is the one that needs to drive and needs to be the most comfortable and is doing the most work, so the driver gets to call the shots.
Watch YouTube videos. It's all good.
So yeah, well allegedly.
Honestly, like I would probably say the person I end up in the car with the most is Mason, because we'll go get supplies or go to the landfill or whatever, and we have that rule. Whoever drives gets to control the music. So he likes My Chemical Romance a lot.
Yes,
leave it at that.
Love it.
So like, I usually wait for Laura. Sometimes Laura will be like, "Let's put some music on." I'm like, okay. And then I usually ask her, "Do you have a vibe or a playlist or an artist or
Yoga stuff?
Like now
You love it.
Oh God, dude. Ching ching ching.
What was that?
What?
What was that? There was some.
What about
some
Anya?
monks or
Some
something.
Anya?
That's Anya. Yeah.
Yeah, it's Robert D always says it. You can hear Laura coming because her toe rings are jangling coming down. He calls her toe jangles.
Gypsy woman.
But yeah, and let me just check this one thing real quick. And
While you're doing that, real quick, Joe.
Yes, sir.
This is a joke. I'm just going to tell you this up front.
Okay.
What did the mama cow say to the calf
Moo?
when the sun was getting low in the sky? What did the mama cow say to the calf when the sun was setting?
What?
It's past your bedtime.
did I tell you the one about the difference between the people of Dubai and the people of Abu Dhabi?
That sounds racist. But go ahead.
Okay, so there's a clear distinction between the two.
5 finger and don't get comfortable.
So the people of Dubai do not like the Flintstones, but the people of Abu Dhabi do.
Oh wow! That somehow
I like that one.
That
That was
didn't
a good
come
one.
off as racist at all.
No.
Wow.
So we actually did get this one right in from Majin Planet, and he says, I have a question about a discussion that was had about the outlook of third party going the Legends route and mainly focusing on the core G1 figures. I want to build up an MP collection around what I already have, which is limited. Do I wait out the Legends and hope they are 2 to 3 years, go back to remaking MP scale again and hope I can build some good collection, or bite the bullet and ride the Legends train too?
He wants to know where third party is going in 5 years.
So look, I don't know if it'll ever go back to MP. And if it does
Not
go
that way.
And if it does go back to MP, it's going to go back to the core. It's going to go back to Devastator. It's going to go back to Seekers. It's going to go back to Prime. Like the
Over and over and over again.
And my suggestion to everyone that's buying Transformers third party in an attempt to complete some sort of checklist in your head, pick a lane and bite the bullet.
Yeah.
If that means paying triple the price, pay triple the price.
Well, I will say this. If you're not picky about brands, there is probably a second best version of a lot of characters that isn't going for triple, quadruple retail.
Well, anything
like
that
and some of them are quite good.
Like the bad cube bugs probably are going to look great on your shelf. And
I'm not so sure, but the bad cube huff, I think is a
okay.
good.
Well, the bad cube bugs at $200 versus $750 or whatever for the Insecticons from Fans Toys.
Yeah. I
For
hear
something that's going to be on a shelf that you may never touch again, they're going to be fine.
I think that the Takara RC would probably be just fine over the Fans Toys Rouge, even though I think the Rouge is better looking.
Sure.
I think that MMC's Springer or Fans Toys Springer,
or that one that came in a bag, open and play.
Not that one. Not that one. Anyone but that one. And then even whatever X Transbots has, any one of those will probably be fine. Like there are characters out there that do have options, but like
Prime has a lot of options.
I mean, if you're into the Legend stuff, I'm not into it, but obviously I look at it every week, and I'm amazed by the engineering they're putting in these little figures. I mean, they're mini masterpiece versions.
They are. The problem is displaying them in any real meaningful way.
And
you're going to be stuck with my fucking 3 3/4 collection.
I understand. Yeah, I mean, or maybe he has a shoebox he keeps his toys in. I don't know. See, that's the thing. You and I and Joe obviously too. Not everybody gives a shit about a display. They just want to have something to fuck with that's cool.
But I'm here to say they're wrong.
Oh, well, okay.
And I hate to say it. Like, I don't even think it's
Some
subject.
people like to pay with the toys, bro.
No, that's fine. That's fine. But you still have to have, you still just can't have them slung about the floor or piled up in a laundry basket. Like,
Robert D.
I do. Weekly. Put that Billy topper on top of the Billy, for Christ's sake. It's not a pedestal. I don't even care if you get 4 of them motherfuckers and duct tape them together. It's still not a pedestal. Put that motherfucker on top of the Billy. You fucking psychopath. He said he's waiting for it to catch on. This motherfucker is coming from the guy who thought Crush Groove was going to be bigger than E.T. But anyway, like I think that even like there's something about having a pride and appreciation in your things, and like I don't think that the thing is I don't think that most people have the toy basket that they're just throwing this shit in when they're done playing with it. I think they do have something that they have a space for it to just be appreciated,
or intentions.
Yes, but they don't care so much about that, and they don't care so much about playing with it. They care about acquiring it.
Yes.
You know, and that's when there's a problem, because you're not getting the full enjoyment out of it. And maybe that full enjoyment has nothing to do with display, but it just has to do with constant manipulation of it. Then you're getting the full joy out of it, for sure. But I think a lot of people are just buying it and just shoving it in a pile of 13 other things.
We've seen on dummies where it's just boxes
Exactly.
of... we've seen boxes of bike troops and boxes of Vesuvios and...
I do have I will share you with you a link of why I would never collect Legends. That doesn't mean that collecting Legends is a bad idea. It's just every reason why I won't.
Okay.
And the only reason why is because I have that problem already. I have a Star Wars 3 3/4 problem. Right. I have solved it, but it's still not optimal. I still would rather have a bigger TV in there and also, but I'm stuck now because there's nothing else to do with that shit.
Yeah, because there's nothing in between, right? Because
Put them in a box.
it's like Masterpiece is like
Put them in a clear tote.
6 scale.
Mattress.
More or less. They're smaller, but right? And then Legends is like 3 3/4. You don't have that like 1/12 scale.
Well,
of
you do.
Transformers.
It's
would be
the
great.
main line.
It's Chug.
It's the main line, right?
Right, but no good.
Well,
chunk
they're
size.
better. They're better.
They're better, but like if
Yeah.
I know
there's
what you mean, though. I know what you mean.
So like Legends is mini fucking masterpiece. You don't have a small masterpiece.
You know, mid masterpiece.
Yeah, exactly. Like if you have like this scale,
Right.
that would be perfect for Billy's.
Right,
But we don't have that. Maybe that's where they're going to go at next whatever iteration.
It'd be smart.
Yep.
You can start all over again with a whole new scale.
So I hope that helps answer it, and I will send you the link to that one video. And with that, I think we're good. Anything else? Anybody?
Tell me.
So a shout out to the rest of the Cool Table. If you listen to this podcast, you're part of the Cool Table as far as I'm concerned. Shout out
That
to...
is hovering. You know, the tables only have so many seats, but like, there's a crowd that hangs out around
there's
it. That's
there's
all
spells
good.
taking place. I mean, one of those spells is making you... Did you ever see there's like Cardi B's real name?
Oh, it's
that meme.
It's like I know her real name is something crazy.
It's like Masak Pakandri or something. Like her name is like
Star Wars character.
something. Yes,
Sounds like she would be in a cantina somewhere.
And the meme said, "I just said Cardi B's real name out loud, and my furniture started floating."
Oh man, some Harry Potter business.
Real quick, anybody hear about the Kanye West Kim Kardashian drama that's been going on recently?
Don't keep up with drama.
So it's been pretty interesting. So Kim Kardashian is dating Pete Davidson now, the comedian, and
Yeah, he's fucking everybody.
yeah,
He fucked like Kate Beckinsale too, and Ariana Grande. Like, he's just all over the place.
So there you go.
He's slinging dick, man.
And Kanye West is currently bedding down Julia Fox, who I wasn't really familiar with, but am now. So she's in Uncut Gems. Anyway, Kanye West definitely has a style now, like a type, and it's thick ass white girls.
I mean,
but can't knock the hustle.
No, not at all. I'm a fan as well. But be that as it may, he has a song coming out now with The Game, and one of the lines in the song is, "I can't, God let me survive that crash just so I could beat Pete Davidson's ass."
Wow. Wow.
Which is funny to me. Shout out to the rest of the Nerd Rage team, Raul on Instagram, Phil on our notes and on Twitter, Dante on Facebook. Shout out to Ricky, who's been making the promotional videos, which I appreciate. And did I miss anybody?
I don't think so.
Okay, good. So with that, Flappy Labius,
Tasty taint.
Tight Dick Player.